Hola, ¿cómo está? Welcome to Angry Old Dudes, episode 16. The episode where everyone else in the world dies and Brandon sits here and lives an immortal life alone, like a fucking piece of shit.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Talking to talk, aren't you?
Kind of. I was trying to facial expression that you usually get from me that no one else sees.
Suck at it.
Okay.
You have to be a lot meaner. Anyway.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if nobody else was left on the face of this planet, you would start crying like a little baby.
It was too thinky, all right?
Too thinky.
I appreciate what you're going for.
Thinky a word?
I don't
think it's a word. Speaking of which, do you know what we didn't write down? And we need to remember to do after? We have to Google search a random word from Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, I actually was going to pull that up. That's our new segment, by the way.
Our new segment. But anyways, we're going to get into the calendar real quick and try to push through that. This episode is being recorded on November 4th. We'll see when you guys get it. Brandon just let me know right before we started that he hasn't put up the last two episodes.
I'm a busy guy, all right?
He's so busy writing a Christmas EP.
Among other things. Mixing my band's EP.
Eating, working.
Works most of
Physically
it.
Physically trying to get up the courage to give your girlfriend a hand job.
That doesn't make any sense. All right. Anyway, Sunday, November 8th.
At the RDK is Cross Me, Stone, Bonehead, Iron Oath, Push Off EP release. Starts at about $8.
Also at Rake's End, we have To Paint with Fire May Prevail Into the Skies from Another Planet.
I didn't know we had that show too.
Friday, November 13th, Andrew McMahon from Jack's Mannequin is at Bogart's. We have no other details.
Something corporate. Fuck Jack's Mannequin.
Whatever. No one cares.
Who cares about Jack's Mannequin?
Tuesday, November 17th.
New Heart, Seen Red, Homebound's first show, and Borrowed Spirit at RDK. I believe that show's $6. Starts around 7:30.
Wednesday, November 18th, BT Bam, Enslaved, Intronaut, and the Native Construct at Bogart's. It is way too expensive.
$40 expensive.
The next day, also at Bogart's, Dance Gavin Dance, Slaves, and A Lot Like Birds.
A Lot Like Birds being the only decent band on that show.
Yeah. The next night, that is Friday, November 20th, Koji, Gray Gordon, Eugenius at RDK.
I love how you just won't even say his name.
Fuck that guy. It's not going to help. Also that night at Bogart's, we have Parkway Drive, Miss May I, Thy Art is Murder, and In Heart's Wake. Saturday, November 21st, is Cincy Power Fest at the Backstage, featuring our very own Automaton and Stagecoach Inferno and other power metal bands whose names I don't know.
Also at the Rockstar that same day is the comeback show for Believe, featuring Hunter's Chase with their EP release, Plagues with their EP release, and Hearts Like Shadows.
And Juggernaut. Saturday, November 28th, we have the Misfits at
the Thompson House.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you don't already know, they're basically giving away free tickets to this show, so get a free ticket.
All right.
I think they've pre-sold like 27.
Gotcha. Also that night, the Queers and the Dopamines at the
Northside Yacht Club. That shows $8 pre-sale, 10 at the door.
Also Reliant K at Bogart's. No other details provided.
Probably play their Christmas album. That sounds exactly like Brain.
Fuck that. Never even heard their Christmas album. I don't care. Thursday, December 3rd, we have August Burns Red, Every Time I Die, Stick to Your Guns, Polyphia, and Wage War at Bogart's.
We also have Incited, Head Rush, Mind Flare, and more dollars at RDK.
Saturday, December 5th.
The Heavy Music Showcase at RDK featuring Grim State, Crewneck, Hunter's Chase, Hearts Like Shadows, Homebound, others.
Planetary Cataclysm,
Eternal Void. I'm still missing somebody. made the flyer. You should remember.
You told me who to put the fuck on it, so you booked it.
Anyways, that show's only $5. Come out Saturday
at RDK Sound Design. Friday, December 11th. Hunters Chase, Underestimate, Planetary Cataclysm, Hearts Like Shadows, all at, I want to say it's at the Backstage.
Also, in reference to something that we didn't talk about last time, because we didn't know about it last time, but the Apex final show at that barn was canceled.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why?
Apex isn't doing it.
Okay.
I don't know. Billy just posted like something that said like, really enjoyed what I did with Apex. Can't wait to show you what I'm doing musically in the future.
Gotcha. Couldn't agree. Tuesday, December 15th, Silverstein, Census Fail, 100th and Capsize at Bogarts. Cares, please nobody go to that show.
Nobody go to that show unless you're sneaking in.
Friday, December 18th, the Academy is at Bogarts. No other details were given. Saturday, December 19th at the 86. That is the Ugly Sweater Party featuring Glass World, my band, We Are As Ronin, 7 Years Dead, and The Color of Amber. That show costs...
I thought it was only $8.
Is $8. Yeah. I just know
That's
that it's
cheap for an 86 show.
It's money. I know it costs money. That's the best I could come up with at the time. I don't feel bad about it. So that concludes the calendar. Woo. Woo. See, this is where some music would happen, like something like there'd be a transition thing, like maybe before, also maybe after. You know, the schedule.
Music. Dun dun dun.
I don't know. I'll come up with something. It'll be snappy and
okay. What'd you do today?
Workity work. It's
which podcast were you forced to listen to at work?
I listened to a little Le Batard. Wasn't super paying attention because I was actually kind of busy doing lots of stuffs. Ate some Chipotle, drank some Mio. Well, I mean, I only really listen to the radio in my car because I don't own that many CDs and I don't have an aux cord. So, but while I was at work, I did put on a little Periphery. So, yeah.
That sucks.
All right, fuck you.
Yeah, of all that kind of shit that you guys listen to, and by you guys I mean you and Logan, Periphery is the one band I can't get into. Everything else that you guys make me listen to that I would normally not listen to, I can be like, oh, I can find redeeming parts stuff. Periphery, just no.
All right. That's a stupid thing to say, but all right. I'm trying to think of anything actually interesting happened at work at all. Nope.
You came home and burnt your food.
Yeah, I overcooked my dinner because I was busy writing Christmas songs. Unless we do this shit on the weekend, like my day is always just gonna be boring as fuck. So it's really just a good segue into what I listened to today.
Pretty much. I didn't listen to anything today
at all.
A little bit that we listened to, though she wrote and whatever those other Attack member X.
God, Jesus,
that you made me listen
to. The Andrews band sucks
I
so
listened
bad.
to a couple songs off the newest Wonder Years today, and checked out Ghost Native. I think they're from Toledo. Eternal Void's playing with them Friday in Toledo. So I wanted to check them out. They're okay. If I played it for you, you would absolutely hate it.
Noted.
It's like the Ghost Inside with a little bit more
Yeah, it sounds disappointing. It's all fuck. So,
my day today consisted of I took my parents to the airport at 7 this morning. I came home and slept. I had the most fucked up. You know how like maybe like 1 out of every 10 dreams you have like feels so real, like while you're in it.
I lucid dream and have been lucid dreaming since I was a little kid. You lucid dream, it's when you realize you're dreaming and then you start having fun instead. Okay. I have very few dreams that I can't control.
I have.
Because I look at something and I go, if that were that, it would be this. And then it's not that. And I go, I'm dreaming. Now I'm going to fuck shit up. This is going to be great.
Okay. Usually I have that, I guess, too. But the dream I had last night, for some reason, like, I was in the dream and I realized that it was a dream. But then I started questioning whether it was a dream or whether I was losing my sanity. And basically the parts of it that I can remember and relate to was basically I went and got Chipotle. And I got home.
Good start.
And I opened up my Chipotle and there was bacon on top of my Chipotle. And I was like, I literally didn't ask for bacon. So I went back into Chipotle and started yelling at this lady. And I was like, I didn't want bacon on my Chipotle. And like, I was like, can you please like make me more? And they're like, oh, we ran out of food. And I was like, this is bullshit. Problem. I want to see your fucking general manager. But then everybody started looking at me and saying like, and poking and prodding me and going like, why are you an alien? And then I was like trying to figure out like at that point, somewhere in the back of my brain, it kicked in that Chipotle doesn't have bacon. And I was like, I have to be dreaming. I have to be dreaming. But then I was like looking around and like every time somebody poked and prodded me, they disappeared. Till I was like still yelling at this one girl about wanting to see their general manager about getting my food replaced. Then I was at a Chipotle like on a resort. And I finally was like, I can't handle this right now. I have to leave. And I like walked out of the building. I was hanging out with Adam and Travis. I saw Adam and Travis eating Chipotle like up on a like overlooking like an ocean. And I was talking to Adam. I was like, they put bacon in my fucking Chipotle. And then people started disappearing. And Adam, because his last name is Raver, was like, yo, man, like, my last name is Raver. We're not at a rave. You need to stop doing drugs, man.
Really bad joke, but
I mean, like, that's literally what my brain was telling me in the dream. It's not like a joke.
Your brain tells bad puns.
Okay. But I mean, like, that's basically what it was. And then I woke up, like, thinking, like, I fell asleep in the dream. And I woke up trying to figure out if that whole thing was a dream or if it was reality.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
I mean, I woke up at like 4 in the afternoon. So.
Yeah. Bummer. Side note, I wish Chipotle had bacon.
They had banana peppers.
I don't much care for banana peppers, so I don't know what to say about that.
Okay.
There any new shit coming out at all?
That Devil You Know record comes out.
Yes.
When did that change, by the way? When did CD releases stop being Tuesdays?
Like a couple of months ago.
Okay, so
because I remember something not being out. Like they were like, oh, it's out next week. And it wasn't out on the Tuesday. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? What is going on? And I come home and I'm telling Michaela I'm bitching about it. And she's like, oh, they changed it. Like, they can't change it. And she's like, yeah, they fucking changed it. Like, they just changed it. Like, they just decided that it's different now. I'm like, no, that's fucked. Like, shit needs to come out on Tuesday so you can ask your friends about it on Wednesday so you can, like, buy it by Wednesday or Thursday, and then you have it for the weekend. Like, you get the shit on Friday, you don't have time to listen to it until next Monday. It's fucked up. It's all wrong. It pissed me off.
I mean, it's always been Tuesdays.
And movies are Fridays.
Fridays, depending on the
Yeah, but mostly Fridays.
Like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars were always released on Wednesdays.
And I think books have a day. Like movies on hard formats are a different day. Shit like that. DVDs were yeah. Fucked up. But yeah, they changed it a couple of months ago.
Number 6, that must be... Wait, my show's on a Tuesday.
Yep. I think a lot of people didn't notice. We noticed. Yeah, I don't think there's really all that much new shit to talk about, like new releases and stuff we've heard. So let's real quick get distracted by our cell phones. Sorry, that wasn't important. Let's get to our Urban Dictionary word of the day. This is where some like snappy music would go. I like cut it and then put the music in, you know?
Dick jokes, dick jokes, dick jokes, dick jokes.
Yeah, something like that. Shit, I might just record that and use that. Put a drum beat to it. All right. I'm good. If
where's the random button?
It's like a shuffle sign. Okay. Are you gonna pull it up? You want me to pull it up?
I mean, I pulled up one. You can pull it.
We gonna do one apiece, or
yeah?
Then it's words of the day.
Okay. Fucking find one that's good because on it yet?
No, I have it up. I haven't started yet. Okay, so this is our new thing that we're going to briefly, of course this isn't brief, but we're going to briefly hit the shuffle button on Urban Dictionary and read whatever brain dead bullshit that the internet has cooked up so we all may laugh.
My first one was Minecraft, and all it said.
That's boring as shit.
This one's kind of funny because I didn't know. Proof to the world that you don't need big tits and skimpy. Quality 80s inspired electro pop, and they're. I have no idea who the fuck LaRue is.
She did that Bulletproof song.
What's that?
This time, baby, I'll be bulletproof. And she just
could have done without visually seeing that.
A little dancing.
Doing almost like a milkshake brings all the boys to the yard dance.
It was some song that came out a couple years ago, and it's like really like 80s synth pop shit.
Yeah, she's a lesbian because it says.
I mean, she's got really short hair and very aggressive androgynous makeup, but I don't know if she's actually gay. I just think that might be part of her. Like, I'm edgy. Anyways, Urban Dictionary.
Our real Urban Dictionary word of the day.
Word of the day is run train. To gangbang a girl with several friends. Think of an actual train. One goes over the tracks and then another. Now say these tracks were friends of some asshole and the tracks were... You get the idea. Yeah.
Some of our listeners have probably ran trains before. Actually, if certain people from Norwood are listening, I know for a fact that you've ran trains.
That's fucked. Like,
Also, other people not from Norwood have ran trains before.
It's just a safe bet that every horrible
Michael Jackson used to run trains on children.
That's fucked up.
But true. But fucked up. True. But fucked up.
So, music news. See, like, music news would be like another transition thing.
We got this music for you, baby. I'm going to do this shitty dance that makes Brandon's dance look more gay and mine more retarded.
Definitely using that.
Whatever, you're the one that used the word faggy today.
You were being faggy. Whatever.
I said, hey, want to kick it? You said, that sounds faggy and outdated.
Who says kick it?
A lot of people. Everybody hits me up and goes, hey, you want to kick it?
No, with
the
you.
The Beastie Boys say kick it.
Yeah, that's the last time that was cool.
No, it's not.
No, kick it! And
It's
then
so cool when the Greenery covers that song.
yeah. No, because when you say kick it, I think kick the bucket, which is, your impending doom, because you're old and sick.
Whatever, cry about it. We're all going to die, and you're going to be left here alone to run trains on squirrels.
I would not fuck a squirrel. For the record, I do not fuck
If you were a
squirrels.
sheep, would you fuck a sheep? You were a sheep.
Oh my God. Love that movie. Anyway, music news. Victory Records is really feeling the burn of not having their music on Spotify after they claimed that Spotify owed them $20,000 in back royalties, and Spotify pulled all of their music. Victory says that Spotify accounts for 70% of their online distribution, and there's a good chance that they're going to have to start firing people and dropping bands because they don't have any money. So,
I call bullshit.
yeah, Tony Brummel, you never know what he's up to, for one. And if it's true, then good, fuck him. I hope other people pick up the bands. Like, who's on Victory that's worth a shit right now?
My kid.
And
Terror.
Day
to Remember. No Common Courtesy didn't come out on Victory, but they still owe 2 records to Victory.
Weird.
I'm trying to think of bands that you would listen to.
Yeah, good luck.
Do you listen to OTEP?
Oh, God, no.
Taproot?
No.
Forever at Last?
No.
Bear?
No.
Technically Streetlight's still on there.
Well, yeah, even though they're not really a band.
Sure there's a occasional other band that you listen to. Guessing you're looking it up.
Yes, I am. Technically, they still own A Day to Remember. Amir.
But they're your favorite band.
High Hopes, don't know who that is. Islander, I don't know.
They're pretty good. And they're actually doing rock radio.
Forever at Last is important to them now?
No.
They're their featured artist.
No, that's probably because Jared is supporting them so wholeheartedly on Facebook.
Gotcha.
Which I know Jared doesn't listen to this. So I get it that you signed a shitty contract and you want to profess your love for a label that doesn't give 2 shits about you. And I also get from the other standpoint of it what you're saying, because you're saying you're not Tony, but your street team that Tony puts above you to help you push your music is good to you. That's fine. But Tony himself, I guarantee, maybe you met him in person once, maybe you met him in person when you signed the contract, but I guarantee only out to take all of your money and say you owe him more money, then shelve your record.
Yeah. They also have Wretched, The Bunny the Bear.
I've never listened to The Bunny and the Bear.
Not good. Tear Out the Heart.
Sucks.
Reverend Horton Heat.
Which is fantastic. I didn't know he was on.
I don't know why. Neurotic November. Il Nino.
El Nino's tight. Don't talk shit.
I'm just amused by it. Counterparts. God damn it.
You like Counterparts?
That's one band that I like.
I'm pretty sure they're on their final record of that contract, though.
Close Your Eyes, if that's even a band
They're
anymore.
not a band anymore. They probably still owe a record, even though they're not a band.
Anyway, their Victory's probably in deep shit.
I disagree.
And it's all their own fault.
I think it's all fucking bullshit. Tony trying to get people on his side so they'll threaten Spotify to pay. I'm sure it's in the contract somewhere where Spotify really, because if you actually read into it, which I did a little bit right before we did this podcast, and that is that not just Victory Records, but Spotify as a whole, and came out and said, we don't have a perfect number of how many plays each song gets. We basically have an estimate per week. And they do say in the report, you could have one song that may or may not be on the Victory Records, one of the older A Day to Remember, say like Second Sucks. Like I'm just using that as an example, but they threw numbers out there and they said basically if it gets 50,000 plays this week, that means that it could technically be getting anywhere between 40 and 90,000 plays. We just roughly estimate it to 50,000 plays, which would be Spotify, and not just Spotify. I'm sure it's other streaming music station type things that are kind of being shitty.
I am at
the same time, though, it is victory, and fuck you.
I like how so many times, like you say fuck bands and whatever that you don't like because they pissed you off, or the bad people, or like they probably deserve it. But most of the time, like when I come at somebody sideways, you're like, hey man, like you got to keep in mind this and this, or like you make excuses for them. Or you'll say, well, this one guy and this one band really pissed me off. I can't really speak for the rest of them, but I don't really support them. Like, it's all like very reasonable until anybody brings up Victory Records. You're like, well, here are the facts, and also fuck them. Like,
I mean, I try to bring it from both sides of point of view, and but then at the same time, I mean, like anybody who's ever worked for Victory, anybody that's ever helped Tony out knows that Tony has always been a high-stress person. He doesn't think things through. And he used to have a small enough label where he could get away with not thinking things through, because maybe this record that was supposed to come out on this day doesn't come out till a week later. It's Victory. It's a small indie label at the time. And then he started making money off of a couple records, Taking Back Sunday, Thursday, Hawthorne Heights, A Day to Remember. And he goes, oh, I can make money. I could buy a really nice house. I could do all this. All I got to do is fuck everybody else over. Let's get rid of my hardcore roots and pull a Josh Truskill.
See, I'm just pissed off because the other day I was trying to listen to The Sleeping, and Victory owns their back catalog, and there was no Sleeping.
I have their whole back catalog.
I know. I want to listen to it at work, like on Spotify. Like I have the albums, but like trying to listen to it at work.
You're an Apple guy. Why don't you get Apple Music? It's all on there.
Because I don't pay for music.
Oh, I thought Spotify was $10 a month too.
I mean, if you get Spotify Premium, I just use the free one. Anyway, Close to Home's breaking up and becoming another band.
Actual Villains, which totally threw me for a loop because there was a local band from around here, actually from Dayton, a couple years ago. No, I made you watch them once or twice. I don't remember if you liked them or not. They were called Amongst Villains. Kind of like a rock and roll Every Time I Die type band.
That was somebody else. She never made me watch that, but...
Well, I know I did because there were shows that we were both at for He Who Shall Not Be Named.
Gotcha.
So I know it was you.
Okay.
And I made you sit through their set at the Here's to the Heroes house party 2 years ago.
Yeah. No, I don't remember.
Okay. Well, that's because you smoked too much weed in your brain.
Anyway, I guess Josh
Wells, who was the closest thing to a founding member. I read the article. It said this band had been a band for 10 years, which is totally false because they've actually been a band for 18 years. So I don't know where that's coming from. But Josh Wells has decided to push forward in other endeavors, not within music. And the rest of the band is moving forward as Actual Villains. Kind of works as a band name and in that sense.
Where do you get 18 years from?
97. Been a band since I was a freshman in high school.
Wouldn't that make them like 40? Oh, they're like 13 years old kids?
Yeah, they're all my age.
Okay. Well, they didn't get important until 2005 or 2006.
I mean, I never even really heard of them until their original bass player, or not their original, their second bass player passed away.
Right.
And that was 2001, 2002.
Way after that.
Really?
Yeah. Because I was playing an acoustic set and the guy I was playing with dedicated a song to him. And it was like 2 months after I got my driver's license, which would have made it like
that late.
Fairly certain. Anyway, Close to Home is not a band. Actual Villains is a band.
They posted a teaser.
Should we say whether or not we like Close to Home? Is that rude to speak ill of the dead, or?
Every portion of Close to Home has been Friends. I don't know. Okay. We can go into it for about 5 seconds. Close to Home, the original lineup of the Paramedic, Winter Circle, I Am the Messenger, all those bands that like didn't know if they were metalcore or post-hardcore. They couldn't really like make up their minds, and they all had breakdowns. But the 150 kids that all really liked them, that would go to their show and get drunk and wasted, but not mosh, and it just never made any sense to me.
Yeah,
like
I didn't experience that.
If you had a touring band that sounded like Close to Home come through and play, kids would mosh. But when Close to Home played a hometown show, sounding exactly the same with similar breakdowns, everybody would just be like, "Woo, we love you guys, woo," watching the show. A little bit. Never understood. Like, it was the same type of music, but it just drew a different crowd. Never made sense to me. But I have no problem with Close to Home or any of those bands.
They were a shitty screamo band that turned into a shitty metalcore band. They're a bunch of trend hoppers, and they were sponsored by fucking Bedhead hair gel. So good riddance. Hopefully, Actual Villains is better. That's a decade worth of resentment all coming out. So we're good now. I summed it up in 5 seconds. You summed it up in 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to be diplomatic. You're just being a prick.
Yeah. Oh, well. Let's see. The Paramedic is a big bunch of drama. And, of course, everybody knows that Brandon Wallace quit because Mike Luciano was a dick. And then he punched him in the face, and that's on the internet, and that's awesome. And then Mike Luciano was let go for being a dick. And then they got another singer, and now they're not a band anymore. So they might be a band again someday. They left the door open. Jake Nolan said, there is no Paramedic right now. But he basically is the Paramedic at this point, so he could bring it back whenever he wants. He didn't say that, but that's just true. They've pushed forward as a new band. Jake Colton, the drummer, one of many drummers they've had. The new singer, Landon, and Cincinnati's Allies Asides, Brad Hester playing bass. And they are now up all night. And I actually have pretty high hopes for that because Landon is a fantastic vocalist. And hopefully it's dope.
Already talked about the Paramedic more than I'd ever. Paramedic, so
no more Paramedic. All right.
Unless I have a heart attack right now, and then we might.
Well, shit. Now I can't do Paramedic jokes anymore. Like, okay. So here's the thing. We played with the Paramedic in like 2010, and every member of that band, especially Brady, was a colossal chotch bag. And
that was last week.
Okay.
They all run trains on Alex Ash, basically.
They were really shitty to us. And so I had a huge deal of resentment. And then years later, I find out that 90% of that band is now a different band. And hey, what do you know? The guy who was a real dick to me is like really nice. And he actually made the artwork for our podcast. And he's a really cool guy. So like, I brought it up and somebody was like, "Oh yeah, he used to be kind of like that, but then he grew up a little bit." And I'm like, you know what? Ben Affleck, you're all right with me. But in the meantime, look, if he's white, he's Ben Affleck.
But what if Brady was black? Who would he be?
I don't know, but
Matt Damon?
That wasn't in that movie, so you white, you Ben Affleck. So we would come up with other things to call the Paramedic. Periscopic, the parametric, the paraplegic, the paralegal.
Singed.
For
anyone that doesn't get that joke, before the Paramedic was the Paramedic, they were called Singed. Brady did not sing in the band. They were a 4-piece tech rock band.
How did they go from a 4-piece to a 6-piece then?
I don't know. I didn't see him for like a year, and then Brady quit Holcomb, and then hey, I'm in this band called the Paramedic. Put us on a show. I was like, okay, maybe. And then I think I saw them once at the Attic with Brady singing. And then I was like, hey, does the Paramedic want to play a show? And he was like, I'm not in the Paramedic anymore. Like, we have a new band called Cinema Sleep.
Happened that quickly? Because I feel like I had to deal with like 2 or 3 years of, oh my God, the Paramedic's the best goddamn band ever to band. Brr. They were on Dayton.
I mean, I think it was probably 2 years, but at that point in time, what was I booking that the Paramedic would have been good to open for?
Okay.
Or?
That's terrible. Don't do that. That band sucks. The new drummer of Avenged Sevenfold
is the old drummer of Bad Religion. Makes no fucking sense besides money.
Yeah. Maybe he's good enough to keep up with it.
I mean, he's probably good enough to keep up with it.
With what they're doing now.
He's probably good enough to keep up with everything. You got to think everyone in Bad Religion is 10 times better than what Bad Religion sounds like.
I'll buy that.
Musically talented wise. I mean, 2 of them are like doctorates have doctorates in their instruments.
Yeah. Well, that's all we got on that. So, Avenged Sevenfold as a new drummer.
We'll see how long this one sticks around.
The Haunted Shores EP is close to being released. That's Mark Holcomb's band, who's currently in Periphery. That was his band before. He and Misha decided to sit down and write an EP. And so far, the one song I've heard from it is pretty sweet. And I've got my issues with the mix, but, that's just me bitching about snare drums not sounding like snare drums.
What do they sound like? Peaches?
No.
Like trains running on each other?
Son of a bitch. Absent Youth is no longer a band. And now they are Weather Vane. And they are actually good. There's
they sound similar to me.
Local band news.
Weather Vane and Absent Youth are basically similar. Cody sings more in Weather Vane than Jeff did in Absent Youth. I don't know. Jeff used to be in Every Bridge Burned, which I was going to make you listen to, but we didn't. So, I don't know. Friends, and I hope they're playing what they enjoy. I just am getting really sick and tired of this new age post-grunge.
I think it sounds like Brand New. If Brand New didn't suck.
I mean, Brand New... I think Brand New was heading towards that new age post-grunge.
Like, if
you mix Deja Entendu and Daisy together, like all the good parts of Deja, and the 2 or 3 good riffs in Daisy, because Daisy as a record sucks, and then threw in some, like, post-grunge. That's what it sounds like.
Yep. But I like it. So, they got a video out for the song Choke. Listen to it. It's cool. We're burning through this shit in a hurry.
I know. Let's take a break so I can pee. Pee, 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 pee. Talk, 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 talk.
You realize I'm going to cut all this up and use it as the songs, right?
That's fine. I don't give a shit. As long as you put like a shitty, really drum track behind it, where the snares sound like trains running on each other.
I don't know what that means, but
run trains, bitches.
We're going to take a potty break. Back from the pee break. Smoke break. General break in general.
Back to the Future.
What? Why?
Where everyone will be running trains on each other.
God damn it, with the trains. Is that this week's chotch bag? Is that
yeah.
what it is? Right.
Isn't that what we're doing with the Urban Dictionary? I'm trying to put our Urban Dictionary word into everything that we do. I'm blowing up on the screen.
Well, yeah, because you're actually talking to the mic for once.
Okay. Woo, woo, woo. Woo, woo. Woo, woo, woo. Stop checking your phone. Do I sound like a parrot? Brandon Mertz, stop checking your phone. Get the lamp. Get the lamp.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Iago? I said a talking parrot. Iago from Aladdin. Please tell me you've seen Aladdin.
Yeah, like once. I hated it.
What?
I don't like Disney.
God, you're not a fucking human being.
Like Disney.
Anytime anybody ever says to me again, like, I don't understand that Brandon kid, I'm just going to be like, he's not a fucking human being.
I'll take it. That's fine. I can live with that. Anyway, they're making JNCO jeans again. Like they're legitimately making
new metal is back.
Like JNCO jeans. Like,
I mean, they never really left because Juggalos have always worn them,
or things like them at least,
or things similar to them.
But like JNCO is.
I mean, hopefully they'll bring Gadzooks the store back, because that was the best place to get JNCO jeans.
Yeah. Well, all of a sudden, new metal's cool again, and JNCO jeans are coming back.
I mean, everything that is happening right now is legitimately 1994 again. Like that early 90s, like 90 to 94. Like post-grunge is big. The beginning of new metal is big again. Supergirl and The Flash are on TV, which I know you're probably too young to remember, but Supergirl and The Flash were both on TV in like 1992.
That's DC.
Yeah, I know you don't care.
Yeah. They're gonna come back now. Like bondage pants still aren't back, but that'll be a couple of years from now.
I hope not, but I don't know. It feels like 20 years ago, all over again.
People are nostalgic for shit that they didn't even live through. It's strange.
Yeah, it's like, I was a 90s kid. I was born in 98. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, I don't even consider myself an 80s kid, and I was alive in the 80s for 70 years. 7 years.
Yep.
7 years.
Are you talking about the 1880s, motherfucker?
Yeah. The 1880s. Four score and 7 years ago. Get in the lamp.
God damn it. All right. You wanted to promote Jay's podcast.
Jay Armstrong, one of the, actually voted funniest comedian in Cincinnati, so it's not just me talking out of my ass, but has a podcast called Out of Step, which is also a Minor Threat song. Jay grew up listening to punk, hardcore, and metal. We would actually like to have him on our podcast here soon. But check it out. He has whatever comedians in town playing at the Funny Bone that week. He has them on his podcast. It's about an hour long, and it's just stories back and forth, just talking about different types of comedy and stuff like that, and it's really enjoyable. That is actually on iTunes. Look up Out of Step Podcast. Yeah, I know, we're too DIY for iTunes.
Fuck iTunes.
But check it out. Support Jay. I don't know. The one and only real comedy set I've ever done was with Jay. That was enjoyable. We did an Eagles Lodge in Norwood.
Yeah, your attempts at stand-up comedy since then have been sad.
Okay.
Because you have that one goddamn joke.
Yeah, which I haven't told since you all told me it was goddamn stupid.
It's pretty stupid.
I actually blocked it from my mind.
Yeah, let's see. Disney wants to stop. They basically want to get rid of Slave Leia because it's not PC.
Okay,
it's too sexually aggressive for Disney.
Can we put that off?
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I want to go into PC and piss people off at the end.
Fine, we will come back to Disney. Okay. I finally got through the new Coheed record. I also got through the new Deer Hunter record, of course. But got through the new Coheed, and I was warned by Pat Dudney that I was going to hate it. And he is incorrect. I do not hate it. Although it is less exciting than most of their other records.
my in my musical taste, their best record since In Keeping Secrets of the Silent Earth.
I would put this one at third worst,
with the first two being worst and
no,
second.
with
not the EP. This Volume 2 and Volume 3.
Volume 1 and Volume 2.
What? No, the EP is Volume 1.
Oh, damn it. The Year of the Black Rainbow is part 1. I hated that.
That's the EP, right?
No, so that's a full album.
Oh, I thought that was an EP.
Second Stage is not great.
Second Stage I love, and In Keeping Secrets of the Silent Earth, Volume 2 and Volume 3.
Yeah. But Year of the Black Rainbow.
I guess I've never heard that, because I thought the only thing that came before Second Stage was their EP.
No. It's part 1, but they recorded part 1 after part 5.
Oh, okay.
It went 2, 3, 4, 5, 1.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't like part 1, which was actually their 5th record.
Okay. That makes more sense. I was like, how did I miss that?
So of their, holy shit, they're up to 8 records. Of their 8 records, I'd say this is the third worst, but that's still way better. Like it's weird, and maybe it'll grow on me a little bit. And it's not just because it's not story related. Like a lot of people are like really pissed off that it's not about space and shit. And that's not the part that bugs me. It's that they wrote simpler songs. They were a little more approachable. They kick a little less ass.
There's at least, including the first single, there's at least 2 other songs on there that sound to me that they're supposed to be radio singles, minus language.
Right. Which has never really bothered them before.
Yeah.
They put out 3, not like 3 official singles, but they put out 3 songs before the record came out. All 3 of which are great. And then if you count the acoustic version of Atlas, that makes 4. And Atlas is a great song. Absolutely fantastic song. Really, they're all good songs. It's just after Afterman parts 1 and 2, they set the stage for this like big, lofty, emotional record. And it's a little more just like chilling.
They ran out of emotion. Or at least story-bred emotion.
I mean, I don't know about that, but it's kind of like their radio surgery. Like Newfound Glory's radio surgery.
Oh no, I disagree.
It's not a bad record.
Yes, it is.
It just doesn't
Radio
feel right.
Surgery is a horrible fucking record.
Oh,
it's definitely the worst Newfound Glory record.
Yeah. Okay, maybe that's a bad example. I don't know.
This record is...
The Color Before the Sun, maybe a better example is that it's more like the newest Foo Fighters record.
I don't know what the newest Foo Fighters record is.
Well, it was boring. Super boring. Like, I listened to it once and I was like, this is bad. I think
every Foo Fighters record is super boring.
All right, so whatever. It's pretty good. I like a lot of the songs on it, but it doesn't, like, captivate me.
Okay. I mean, that's how I feel about this record, though, is you're a Coheed fan. So you're going to listen to it no matter what.
Right.
This record is supposed to captivate those people that go, Coheed's too complex for me to want to listen to. It's basically a feeler for them to bring in new fans.
I will say that the hero on that record is Zach Cooper.
Is that their bassist?
Yeah. Like, everybody was pissed off when Mike Todd wasn't in the band anymore because he tried to rob a pharmacy for opiates because he's a heroin addict. And then they brought in Zach Cooper, and then his first couple releases, he kind of played it cool. But holy shit, does he go ham on the bass on this record. Like, he has more complicated parts on the bass than there are on both guitars combined. It's fantastic. So, I'm pretty stoked on that.
I listened to that whole Deer Hunter record.
What'd you think?
I don't think I'd
lofty and
ever
weird.
listen to it again.
Yeah. There's a lot you have to, like, that's the only trouble with the Deer Hunter is that you can't dive right in.
I mean, I listened to their whole discography while I was feeling sick and shitty in bed the other day. I figured if it was something that you usually jam, then it's probably something that would be relevant to the way I was feeling.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple songs on there that I could take and actually like hear as singles, and I put them on my like while I'm sick mix.
Your playlists crack me up, by the way. Because you make them, and I don't know anybody else who still makes playlists.
Why?
Most people just skip around, listen to an album, go to a different album.
I mean, like, that's the one thing I like about Apple Music most of the time is like I can just hit like start station from one band, because I hate, like, 9 times out of 10 I don't like a full record of any band. Like, there's probably, out of all the records I've listened to in my lifetime, there's probably like 107 records that I can listen to from front to back.
Yeah, see, that's the mark of a good record to me. That's the mark of a good
absolutely.
band. Like, it has to be good end to end.
Absolutely. But I mean, like, we also have different opinions on that, obviously, because there's of that 107 that I like from front to back, there's probably like 5 records on that list that you enjoy.
Well, I will say that the first Deer Hunter EP is the first EP is not great. The first album is the worst of them, but it's also the shortest, and it was the hardest to make because it was so adventurous, and after that it just keeps getting better and better. But shit. Wake up. When I do listen to the Deer Hunter, I generally put on Act 1 and then just go straight through. All the way through. So, I mean, did you get like the point of the story, or were you just kind of listening to listen for sounds?
Yeah, just listening for sounds. I mean, that's the thing that we always talk about. That's like one of the weirdest things for me is because basically in the last 4 bands I've been in, I've been a vocalist. But when I listen to music, I 9 times out of 10 don't listen to lyrics.
Well, that is a band where following the like the themes that they set, like when they revisit a subject or a character comes back, like in a movie, how certain movies characters have music cues. Every time Darth Vader steps on the screen, Imperial March plays in the background. Somehow, every time Indiana Jones does something cool, his music plays. Every time Jaws is anywhere near anything. Exactly. To the point where if they put it in there really quietly, you'd still know it, even though you didn't think about it. Oh. So they will take the end of, like, the orchestral part at the end of a song, and then when they revisit that subject or that character comes back, say the pimp and the priest, same guy, when he comes back, all of a sudden they play that music again. And you know, like, oh shit, I remember this theme. It was from something else. So.
Oh, I've been reading a whole bunch of Star Wars stuff leading up to the new Star Wars. And one of the things, I guess, seeing it a million times, and I've probably, obviously not seen it a million times, but probably at least 10,000 times seen Star Wars A New Hope. Never really realizing that Darth Vader is only on the screen for 12 minutes of that movie.
Never thought about it that way.
But like they literally, like, that was one of the things like in the factoids that I was reading about, and he's literally only on the screen for 12 minutes of an hour and 53-minute movie.
And he had a huge
but he's more
effect.
iconic than anybody else in that movie.
Good writing.
Yeah, I don't know where all his writing went.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, because Lucas fell ass backwards into most of the great things he ever did. His original plots for the second and third movies were totally fucked up. He had somebody come in and rewrite it, and they wrote it worse, and then he had to rewrite it again or something, or his writer died or some shit. And he had to.
The big thing for Empire and Return of the Jedi is Irvin Kershner, like producer and co-writer and a whole bunch of different shit. But anyways, what's our next topic?
Real quick, how was the show last night?
It was okay. 33 kids. You watched Chip Teeth at Cuapalooza?
Maybe. All the bands sounded the same. I didn't know who was who.
I don't know. I mean, like, Cody from Chip Teeth was worried that nobody was going to enjoy their set. And I mean, they definitely had, like, everybody in that room was moving and having a good time. No drama, no problems. I needed 31 to break even. Had 33, was able to toss Trespassers some money, which Trespassers is so fucking good. So fucking good. Those dudes are awesome too. From Syracuse. They kind of play a post-grunge, but it's not really. It's more of like a gritty pop punk with like elements of like 95, 96 emo, like Quicksand and stuff like that. I mean, you listen to it.
Yeah. I called it something completely different than that.
Oh, what do you call it?
I don't remember.
Okay. It's just good.
It is pretty good.
It's really fucking good. They're really cool dudes. Half of them work at the mid-sized venue, about the same size as the Thompson House in Syracuse called the Lost Horizon, where they do a good mix of shows. So, I mean, like, it was basically like talking to other promoters, and like, they realized they were just trying to jump on a show, and I was able to toss them like $25, and they were cool with that. And it was enjoyable, and I'm pretty sure all the touring bands did well on merch, and it was a good time. I mean, I'd like a little bit more than 33 people, and I'd like all my opening bands to stay for the entire show.
I knew it was coming.
And I mean, it's just everybody. I mean, like, we've had this talk before, but it really, okay. If you're at a show, stick around for the whole show. Watch every band. If you can honestly say after the first song that you don't like the band, okay, go outside. Go stand in the back. Go sit at your merch table. Go do something. I understand. But if you're just going to sit outside and be like, I don't know who this is, I don't really care. Like, you can at least watch one song.
I give people that benefit of the doubt. Like, I when it comes to locals, even, like, if I haven't seen them in a while, or they've had some member changes, or like they've written some new material, I'll recheck them out, because I feel like I've watched my own band change from the inside and like get better all of a sudden, or get worse all of a sudden. Like, I get it. So like, even with locals and people I know personally, if I don't like a band, every now and then I'll just, like, I've seen these guys like 6 times. I don't like it. Cool people, whatever, not my thing. But maybe I'll go 6 months and like, I'll walk outside every time they play. And then like one time I'll try it again, you know, because it's like the right thing to do. But if you play and you don't stick around, like, you better have a damn good reason. Just rude.
Yeah, and work at 8 a.m. when you'd be home by 11:30 at night is not a good excuse.
And I mean, if you do have to leave early, and it comes with realizing that that's bad show etiquette, grab whoever booked the show.
Yeah, don't just disappear.
And be like, hey, look, like, we all came in the same car. You know, so-and-so's got school in the morning or something. We got to get out of here. Nobody's going to hold it against you. Don't be a boner about it.
Don't lie about it either. Don't be like, yo, man, my mom just called. She's in the hospital. And then I feel all bad, and you guys leave. And then I see you post on Instagram that you're sitting at a Steak and Shake, jerking each other's off and smoking bowls inside of Steak and Shake.
That all seems really unlikely. But
I've seen it before.
jerking each other off after saying that their mother died and smoking weed.
People sitting at Steak and Shake after saying their mother had been admitted to the hospital.
Like that exact thing happened?
Yeah. Like a band was like, hey, we really want to stay for every other band, but our bass player just got a call and his mom's in the hospital. And then I saw on Instagram, like an hour later, one of them was like taking a picture of all of them sitting at Steak and Shake.
Shitty. Anybody I know?
No.
Yeah, I really just wanted to get to the part where you said Trespassers was good.
Yeah.
Because I think that they deserve the plug. That's really...
Zip Teeth and Turncoat are good hardcore bands. I mean, obviously you're not going to like them because you think all hardcore sounds the same.
Well, and I think the fact that you brought them out and it's not their first time coming out, like people might know about it, but seeing as how most of our listeners are local kids, being exposed to something new and interesting from somewhere else, kind of what we do here. So, Chip Teeth and Turncoat, as whatever they are, as they are, good, I guess. They're not news, so Trespassers is news. Also, please get a better name so we can find you on Facebook, because you're like the 10th band called that.
No, they're the only band with an S.
Whatever, just fucking Google your shit. Like, don't think that you're so profound that you can call yourself something that's really obvious.
Also, it was Mind Flayer's first show.
How was that?
It was okay. I think it was precursored by the fact that Polycaster said, as soon as you start, I'm leaving. And he did go and get food while Mind Flayer played. And he literally said that it was because he wouldn't be able to sit through their set without talking shit to Travis the whole time.
Gotcha.
But they were good. It was a good first show. They're still working on stuff. By December 3rd, it'll be solid.
Moving on. You wanted me to write down your health.
Yeah. So obviously most of the time I use the podcast as like a place for me to vent. And I guess I'm going to vent real quickly about my health. So basically for about a week now, I've been losing feeling from the waist down and having headaches every day and starting to lose feeling in my limbs. Now the doctor originally said that was because my blood pressure was too high and I was nearing stroke. My blood pressure has lowered, but I'm still having this feeling, and I'm so like double jaded about like what to do about it. Like they're like, oh, you should go to the hospital. And it's just like, can I just stay at home and take it easy?
Because what's the hospital going to tell you?
They're going to stick blood pressure medicine through an IV instead of orally. And I guess bring my blood pressure down. But as soon as I leave the hospital, it's just going to go right back. And I know if I stay in the hospital longer than a week right now, it's going to totally fuck up with my Social Security. And I've been calling food stamps every fucking day. And I don't get a phone call back. But I don't know. They're trying a new therapy on my dialysis and seemed to be okay for about half the day yesterday. And then I started feeling bad again. But I don't know. We'll see. Anybody that's listening, I'll take your prayers and thoughts depending on what you believe in. How's your health? Why are you sad?
I'm fat.
That's why you're sad?
I mean, that really is a big part of it.
I mean, but you're happiest when you're eating.
Which is really the complicated part.
That's the circle.
Yeah. Yeah. When you get winded tying your shoes, you got problems.
When I get winded tying my shoes, I know it's because I smoke too much. When you get winded tying your shoes being straight edge, yeah.
Fat, that's all it is. No, I've been in a funk the last couple of months. Not getting things done that I want to get done, and then not getting them done makes me feel worse about not having it done. And then like, it's just this like everything that would make me feel better is all the stuff that's making me feel bad. Like if I could get if I could focus for 20 minutes and get one of those things done, then like all of a sudden I'd be on fire. I'd have like the Mario star and I'd just like tearing through this shit. But like really I'm kind of just like trapped in front of those two like those two lines of blocks where the hammer throwing guys are, and you're trying to time it right. And you're just terrified to keep going. You know the fuck I'm talking about,
exactly,
too.
Yeah.
And the best course of action is actually just wait for the right second and run underneath of them and not even fuck with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's where I've been. But I've been trying to be productive and not be so whiny and sad all the fucking time.
See, the thing is, though, and I think it's the same thing for me, but we're both at that point where instead of getting whiny and sad, like we're whiny and sad on the inside, but outside we just seem extremely hateful and angry.
Yeah, that's normal for me.
Yeah.
Pretty typical.
Because the reason I brought this up was because I actually asked Brandon the other day, like, I was like, why are you so hateful and angry all of a sudden? And he's like, because I'm sad.
Accurate.
So I figured I'd get an honest answer out of you if I called you out on the podcast.
I'm trying to drink less soda. I say that while I'm like taking hits off a 2-liter here, but like at work, I don't drink much soda. I mean, I drink one tiny cup of coffee a day, and like I cut back the sugar in my coffee because it was way too much sugar. I'm trying to
drinking straight honey. I know it's good for your voice, but that's just as bad.
Yeah, I know.
It's basically like taking straight sugar.
I stopped eating a lot of bread. I cut my red meat intake by like 50%, except for the past couple of days. I bought a bunch of ground beef and made a bunch of cheeseburgers. But other than that, like, I'm trying to eat healthier, and I'm trying not to drink so much soda. And I'm trying to watch what I say before I say something stupid, and people get mad at me when I didn't mean to say something stupid. And I'm trying to be patient, and I'm trying not to say the first thing that comes to mind, because the first thing that comes to mind is always mean. And most people just squash that shit. But I just say it, and then people get mad at me.
Yeah, you're definitely the... I don't know how to explain it, but I consider myself pretty diplomatic, and you're not that way at all.
No. The first thing that pops in my head, I'm fucking saying it. And I've been trying to do that less. So really, I was actually explaining this to somebody else the other day. I'm trying to...
Not be yourself?
No, it's not about not being myself. It's about being a better version of myself. I'm trying to improve myself. Meanwhile... Like most people, when they're feeling good, they do something good for their life. I feel bad, and I'm trying to spread myself so thin on like these like 10 different projects I'm involved in. All this music I'm making and recording and mixing and stuff. Like, it's the worst possible time for me to do this, but I've decided that I need to do it. So, kind of stress the fuck out, and I kind of never sleep. I sleep. I'm asleep. I'm asleep for amounts of time. But I don't feel like I rest.
Yeah.
Ever.
I've definitely, ever since I've been on this machine, I definitely feel that way.
Well, you've got a fucking tube in your stomach. Like, yeah. I wouldn't be able to get comfortable either. Like, you can't sleep on your stomach.
I mean, I can sleep on my side, but I mean, like, if the line gets kinked, my machine will beep at me until I wake up and move.
Yeah. See, I often sleep directly on my stomach, so that would drive me nuts.
Yeah, I definitely can't do that anymore. I can sleep side to side, but not on my stomach anymore.
Yeah, that's a bummer. But yeah, so that's really what it is. Like, I'm trying to do a lot of things, a lot of positive things, and trying to get a lot of things done. And it's taxing. Although...
Are you in a lot of pain?
No, like physically. I mean, my feet hurt because my feet always hurt. Because I had orthopedic inserts made when I was 14. And I've been using the same one since I was 14 and never went back. So I probably need to get my feet remolded and then like get new ones.
Like $300 though.
Yeah, fuck all that. I don't have that kind of money. The appointment's probably $150. Like, I don't have insurance, so I don't get my feet checked out. And like, my sinuses are always going crazy, but I try to keep that under control. But like, other than that, there was a couple days over the weekend where my big toe was in a great deal of pain, and I don't know what happened, but my big toe pops really loud a lot, and it always feels like it's jammed. I'm pretty sure I kicked something and fucked it up. Yeah. Only it's like often. And if I wiggle it a lot, I keep wiggling my big toe, it'll pop. Like, I can make it do it constantly.
Mine usually does it about once every 10 minutes, but...
Yeah. I think I just kicked something and like fucked it up one day, like years ago. But I guess it's what most football players call turf toe.
Oh, okay.
Or like putting any pressure on it hurts like hell. And, you know, putting pressure on it includes walking. So, I mean, that sucked. But I just taped it to my other toe and went on about my business. But like, no, not like a great deal of pain. I just, I feel restless.
I feel restless too, but my brain is my own problem. But one of the things with kidney failure is like, develop restless leg syndrome. And one of the things that also sucks is like I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis when I was 22, but I can't really take any medicine for it now because of my kidney. I could take like 2 Excedrins once a week, which I'll be honest, like I probably take 6 Excedrins a week, like 2 here, which I shouldn't really be doing, but sometimes I can't even roll out of bed because the pain just in my head hurts so bad. Let alone that doesn't even take care of my ankles, my knees, shoulders, my elbows.
Yeah, that's a shit spot to be in. Side note: have you heard the last bit of news we heard about from Robin Williams' girlfriend, fiance, wife, whatever?
I did not read that article. I saw it pop up, but I didn't get a chance to read it.
So she is coming forth and saying that depression is not the reason for his suicide. He was diagnosed with early stages of what was probably going to be Parkinson's or some...
Oh, I thought it was dementia.
Or some kind of dementia. I can't remember. Like, I read 2 different ones and they called it 2 different things. And I guess he was just like... hey, if I'm going to lose my mind, I'm going out the way I want to. Deuces.
Yeah, I read a different article last week that was actually out for about a week. And then they said that the article was false, that it wasn't a suicide. So that's why I didn't read that article.
I had seen that headline. But I don't know. It definitely, I mean, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change the way we feel about it. Like, nobody's going to be like, oh, I don't blame him. Like, it still sucks. Selfishly, you want more Robin Williams because everyone loves Robin Williams, but...
Well, I mean, what comedic actor of his time is still around?
You have a point.
There's only one that I can think of.
Comedians die young. Carlin was like 70-something.
No, I think he was older than that. I think he was like 83.
In his 80s?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, then that was impressive, considering the guy had like 3 heart attacks.
Yeah, and I mean, on top of that, he didn't even really become Rodney Dangerfield was like late 60s, early 70s. I mean, like, the only person of the same time period as Robin Williams that I can think of that's still alive, of that same, like, almost age group is Bill Murray.
Yeah.
And I mean... That's the thing, like, Bill Murray has always been, like, Bill Murray doesn't do stand-up.
No.
Like, Bill Murray has always been a comedic actor. So, like, when Bill Murray goes, I mean, like, that'll be a sad, sad day.
Especially because Bill Murray has found celebrity in being Bill Murray.
Yeah.
That's like his favorite thing in the world, is to just be Bill Murray in public.
Yeah.
And people go absolutely apeshit.
Because he's, like, real.
Yeah.
And he plays such a grand scale of roles in movies. I mean, from Peter Venkman in Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2 to his, I can't think of the name, but the shitty human being he is at the beginning of Groundhog Day, to The Life Aquatic, playing himself in Zombieland.
Yeah. That was such a good twist. Like,
yeah.
First of all, it was so random that they go to Bill Murray's house, but it's like, oh well,
Bill fucking Murray. I mean, I know your middle name isn't fucking, but, and I mean, I think that's even funnier on a different note too, just considering that Woody Harrelson and Bill Murray in real life are friends.
Yeah. But it was funny enough that, like, of all the houses they could pick, he's like, I want to go to Bill fucking Murray's house. And the one place he does pick, Bill Murray's still there. Yeah. Like, and it wasn't, it was so obvious and yet so random and not obvious. Like, of course Bill Murray's at Bill Murray's house. But of all the people that are dead, Bill Murray's like, oh yeah, I just dress up like them and they don't notice I'm not alive. I'm Bill Murray. Let's hang out.
Here's a new movie that comes out soon, or came out last week. Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you in a second when I find it. Cool. What's the next topic?
You want to get into the Disney thing? You really want to close with that?
I really want to close with that.
Okay. So I guess I wrote down two things. I will open with one, which will lead into the other. Yesterday, I got called a literal Nazi.
You are a Nazi.
Because I disagree with weed legalization.
Who
I got called
a Nazi? Who called you a Nazi?
One of Gateskill's friends. And I think
Brandon. I thought maybe it was your girlfriend.
So. And I think also Brandon Durbin. It's funny because all of a sudden, like, it turns out a lot of people that I thought were, at very least indifferent towards me, have a serious problem with me, and it takes me disagreeing with drug legalization for them to say that they hate my fucking face.
Real quick, the new movie that just came out or is about to come out is called Rock the Casbah with Bill Murray. Also, one of the remakes of The Jungle Book coming out next year. Bill Murray is doing the voice of Baloo.
I read that.
And there's supposed to be a Ghostbusters sequel coming out next year.
Yeah. Which I don't think he's in.
It says he is. Maybe he's directing or something. Anyways, back to you being a literal Nazi.
I got called a Nazi.
Like a literal Nazi? Like a literary term Nazi? Or like an actual Nazi?
No, they flat out called me a Nazi.
So you're a fascist.
That's what was implied.
Okay.
Seems a little aggressive. Here's the part that really took me by surprise. All of these pro-legalization people are like, hey, this isn't a scary, dangerous thing like everybody thought it was. Like, it will make a lot of people happy, and it'll get rid of prescription drugs, and like it'll do this and this. Like it helps manage this pain and these diseases and things. And they say that it cures diseases, and it fucking doesn't. So they're lying. But they're like, and everything would just be great.
I mean, it can cure some diseases.
It doesn't.
Like, okay, it masks diseases to where the pain from those diseases are not relevant in the person's life anymore.
Anyway,
like rheumatoid arthritis.
They're like, they come off really positive. Hey, we would totally do this. We could use the money for this, and the agricultural benefits are this and this. And you go, I'm still morally in disagreement for these reasons. And they came off really polite, and you come back with, I politely disagree, and they immediately go to, fuck you, you piece of shit, you're the biggest piece of shit ever, you're just trying to ruin everything for everybody, fuck you, you sound like a dare campaign, you fucking Nazi piece of shit.
I mean, do you have a post that I can read that? Because maybe you were being a dick and you just didn't realize
No,
it.
I was super polite. But it's so funny because these people come off super positive, and you're like, that's cool, I happen to disagree with you. And then they go fucking nuts. It's so funny because people want to say don't typecast.
Well, that leads into our PC.
People say don't typecast drug users. And it's funny because drug users all react the same when you say you disagree with their drug use. Kind of making my point.
Okay, I
when
completely
they react like
agree
that.
because I disagree with your caffeine use, and you always go, "Shut the fuck up! It's not like any of the drugs that I'm fucking against. You're a fucking Nazi. Don't fucking throw that shit at me. Caffeine has nothing to do with me being straight edge."
First of all, you would have to consume so much caffeine to even notice. I know the people who become addicted to caffeine.
2 cups of coffee a day is an addiction.
I don't drink 2 cups of coffee a day.
But drink the same amount of sugar's worth as 2 cups of coffee.
Yeah, the thing is, though, like I said, I'll switch to ginger ale for 6 months and not feel a thing.
Still has sugar in it.
Yeah, no, I'm totally addicted to sugar. Like, no, any American who says they're not addicted to sugar is a fucking liar. They put sugar in all of our food, even though it doesn't go there.
Our salt has sugar.
Yeah, probably. Because they've got us addicted to the shit. And then we want sugar all the time. Anyway. People attacked me all kinds of crazy for presenting a polite, rational argument. And that is super not cool.
Okay. Let me... First off, even though it's supposed to be... You didn't vote, right?
Fuck no.
Yeah, you don't vote.
Do you?
Yes.
How do you feel about wasting that 20 minutes of your life?
Actually, it gets me to exercise, to walk down the block to the police station to vote. So it's positive whether my vote counts or not.
You know what? I like your optimism. That's a good spin. You did a good thing just now.
Anyways, well, we were voting for mayor of Arlington Heights too. So
right,
that
you need the king of the tin can that you live in.
Yeah, because it's either because the old mayor. Actually, it doesn't matter for this podcast, but we'll talk about it after the podcast.
Small time politics.
Yeah, who gives a shit? Anyways, I voted no on issue 2, and I voted no on issue 3. Do I think legalization of weed should happen at some point? Yes. It should happen when Ohio is responsible enough to have a real responsible Ohio and not this fake ass community that is portraying itself as responsible Ohio right now. I know you are 100% completely against weed, period. However, one of the things that I posted today was in regards to everyone's opinion on issue 3 and also the way you argue your points in life, with me at least, and Michaela. And that is... Hang on, let me read it word for word so I don't fuck it up, because I actually said it pretty well today. But basically...
Funny, because I didn't read it.
I'm sure you didn't. At the end of the day, we cannot move forward because instead of pushing for the betterment of man as a whole, we simply push only what we think is better.
Yeah, but that's such a benign statement.
Okay, I don't know what benign means.
It means it's meaningless.
How is it meaningless? Because in your opinion, it's meaningless?
No, God damn it. Because what I think is best is, of course, what I think is best.
Okay.
Nobody, like...
There's plenty of people out there, but not society as a whole, that pushes for what the world wants and not just what that individual wants.
Well, I want this for the world.
Okay, but I'm saying if you literally, not that you can because votes don't matter, but say you took a group of 100,000 people, just 100,000 anywhere, and said, pick them randomly, just even out of this country, and said, do you think weed should be legalized nationwide? And 95,000 of those people said yes, and 5,000 of those people said no. You would still vote against it.
Yeah, that doesn't make them right.
It's the betterment of man.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It is the folly of man. No. It is man choosing what they want instead of what they should have. It is a short-sighted, selfish, immature decision.
That's what Christians feel about gay marriage. So you're just on their side on a different issue.
No, I'm not using their tactics. I'm not using 2,000-year-old literature and an invisible man in the sky and eternal damnation. I'm saying, based on what we already know about the thing, first of all, we as a nation are not mature enough to handle it. Also, nobody should do that. It's just not good, and it's not necessary.
Okay, well, most of America disagrees with you.
Well, because most of America is stupid.
No, because most of America is in pain that you are not, which you just simply stated.
No, people just make up these fucking ailments so they can get high all the time. Here's the part that bothers me. This frustrates the hell out of me. When somebody says, hey, they should legalize weed. Do you smoke? Yes, I do. Okay, well then why do you think they should legalize it? Well, because it's nobody's business what I do. Well, it kind of is, because you can't murder people, and that's something that you potentially would do.
Those are two different things.
No, they're not.
Potentially would do because you're stoned?
No, stupid ass.
Well, that's what you just said.
You're physically capable of killing a person. That is the thing that you can do with your body. You can physically do that. But we've all agreed that it's bad.
Okay, but
and we've all agreed that weed is bad.
No, we haven't.
We did.
No.
We used to all agree.
America was a country for like 145 years before they agreed in...
Can I finish?
Yeah.
Can I finish? You didn't watch South Park.
Get in the lamp!
You didn't watch South Park, did you?
I haven't watched anything of this season yet.
Okay, well...
But yes, I know Cartman says, can I finish?
No, the Canadians say, can I finish?
Oh, I think Cartman does it in the movie, maybe.
It's the Canadians in Congress.
Okay.
Can I finish?
Oh, yeah.
Can I finish?
Would you like to tell us what this is all about?
You can finish. I'm finished. Anyway. Most people, and obviously Ohio by a majority, even if it's a small majority, have decided that they still don't think people should be high all the time.
That is not necessarily true, because there are plenty of people that voted no because they didn't want the monopoly.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter.
I mean, if you want to say half the people that voted no on issue 3 didn't want it because of the monopoly and not because they didn't want people to get high.
I don't care about any of that. Here's my point. These people will say, well, because it's nobody's business what I do with my body. It's like, well, it kind of is if it's going to affect other people and whatever. And we kind of want good people around, and that's not going to make you your best person. So you probably shouldn't do that. Everybody kind of thinks that way, but whatever. And then they go, okay, well, I mean, there's all these agricultural uses. You get a paper and all these other byproducts that you can have, and you're like, okay, that's a reasonable point.
Although technically hemp rope is still legal in 100 or 50 of 50 states in America.
But why, if you want industrial hemp, does that mean that you should smoke weed?
Because then you're using the whole thing.
Yeah, see, but those aren't related. And they go, yeah, well, it cures these diseases. It doesn't cure shit. First of all those studies say that it managed pain or the side effects were helpful to do this and this. I've not read a convincing study yet that weed cures cancer. That's the biggest load of shit I've ever heard.
No, but it does manage the pain.
Yeah, which is
in
fine.
a non-addicting fashion compared to what they do give you for the pain when you have cancer.
And that's another thing they all say. Congratulations, way to act like all the stoners. Well, it's better than Vicodin. Well, I don't think people should take Vicodin.
It is better than Vicodin. But that's the thing. You don't have to deal with that kind of pain on a daily basis.
You know what else? You know what else is supernatural? Not supernatural, but is also natural and helps you manage pain.
I'm thinking of werewolves and vampires because you said supernatural.
It helps you manage pain and stress and all these other things. Yoga. Holy shit. You don't have to be...
Hey, are you going to go do yoga?
If I have to.
No, you won't.
I've thought about it.
No, you won't.
Okay.
You know what you're going to do? You're going to go take 2 Advil and call your doctor in the morning if you had a doctor and insurance. I know you don't. I was making a
anyway
broad statement.
So So they go, well, it cures cancer. It doesn't cure cancer. That's just what stoners want you to believe. Well, you get all this tax revenue from it. Yeah, at what cost? Well, dude, just like fucking, I just want to get high. It's like, see, that's just it. You're using all of these noble, even though they're slightly misguided causes, and all these studies and all this other shit.
Okay.
Can I finish? They're using all of this evidence for the positive uses of marijuana in the world to justify why they should get to smoke all the time and run their cars into other cars and stink all the time and call people dude at inappropriate times and just be a worthless
do that.
fucking piece of shit. So how do those two things connect?
One, in my opinion, we shouldn't be able to tell someone that they can get drunk and they can't get stoned.
I'm 100% pro-prohibition.
Okay, but that doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work because we as a nation are retarded.
It doesn't work because it would literally destroy our economy in a week.
We should get a better economy.
Okay.
Maybe that's what we need.
No, because
we need infrastructure to completely fail.
We already tried that before.
We tried it a long time ago. Shit was different.
And it didn't fucking work then. It wouldn't work now. We're even in worse shape than we were back then.
If human beings were at the level that they think they are, they wouldn't drink alcohol. They certainly wouldn't drink it in excess. Here's something.
But that's the thing.
Is something that I was talking about.
You're not going to let me finish, but you're going to continue.
Here's something I was thinking about earlier.
You're being a Jew.
That's horrible. Other nations who have lower drinking ages, who have decriminalized, even legalized, very, very low risk drugs. And everybody goes, well, they have less drug use. They have fewer alcohol related deaths. They have, all of these other things. That's because they're smarter than we are. Do you really think that in Germany, where the rule is if you can see over the bar, you can drink, do you really think that those people just go out and get fucking alcohol poisoning for fun and then have their mom and dads bring them a new fucking polo shirt to the hospital and pay the bill, and then they walk out of there in the fucking Sperry's and then go rape somebody and do a bunch of ecstasy or whatever the fuck all these college kids do? They don't do that in other fucking countries. They're smart. If they're going to do something they know has a negative repercussion, they won't overdo it. There was a country, I think it was Portugal, they decriminalized a lot of stuff, and eventually they just said, fuck it, do anything you want. And then there was an influx, and then it went straight down. You want to know why?
Yeah, we talked about this last week.
They
learned.
On
the podcast, but me, you, and Michaela talked about it.
They learned.
Okay, so why do you think that we can't learn?
Because people are overdosing on heroin in the streets.
Okay.
You
always compare marijuana and heroin to being the exact same thing.
I didn't say they're the same thing.
Yes, you did. You said that last week.
No, I said they're both drugs. Once you're over the line, you're over the line. I don't care how far over the line you are.
Okay, so once they legalize it, does that mean it's not a drug to you anymore?
No, it's still a drug.
Because alcohol would be the same as heroin then.
It is. Okay. Alcohol is just as destructive as heroin.
Okay.
That's the thing. Everybody tries to call me out well, this isn't worse than this. It's I don't like any of those things. So, I don't think...
but that's the thing. I
don't think people should take mood-altering drugs. I don't think people should take antidepressants. I don't think people should take mood stabilizers. That shit just makes it worse. Everybody goes, well, if you just get high, then it wouldn't matter. It's what are you fixing? You're just finding something that does less havoc to your insides to not fix the problem.
Okay, so how do you fix the problem?
Actually fix the fucking problem.
Okay, how?
A couple hundred years of evolution. Here's the thing. People are so fucking spoiled and they're such fucking entitled little pussies that they go, oh, something's not optimal. Now, that could be debilitating pain. That could be premature organ failure and all this stuff. And then the FDA and all, whoever runs all the medicine and all the hospitals, whatever, goes, but if you pay us a ridiculous amount of money, we can give you a medicine that'll mostly fix that, even though it's breaking 10 other things, and you'll be better. And then you're going to be stuck on that, and there's going to be all these other problems. But You can fix it. Here's the thing that nobody wants to hear. We're not all winners. Life is pain. Make the best of it.
Okay, but in that aspect, we're all losers because we're all going to hit that point where the pain is too great.
Yeah, and then you die. People are so selfish to think that they could live these glamorous ass lives and like that all the problems will go away. Well, if you just let us do a bunch of drugs all the time, then we wouldn't feel any pain. Also, you'd drive your car off a fucking cliff.
Not necessarily.
That's because there aren't any cliffs anymore.
Okay.
Like, it just...
I mean, if you drive stoned, it's the same as driving drunk.
Here's the thing. How do you test for it? There's no test. You have to take a blood test. The results change in 24 hours. You can go in a holding cell for the night, refuse to give your blood for the test, and in the morning, test negative. There is no test. Alcohol is processed very slowly. There's no way to tell if somebody's driving stoned. Well, there's suspicion. Well, suspicion doesn't get you arrested now, and it's illegal. Car smells like weed. They don't see any weed. They can't do shit about it. Of course, unless they shoot you in the face, which is something cops have been doing a lot lately. But there can be no regulation. There can be no regulation on something that somebody can grow in their closet. So this idea, I'm sure Responsible Ohio was a huge failure and whatever. They pumped $25 million into this campaign for it to fucking lose, which is a huge waste of money. Think of what you could have done with that money. I don't know, develop some kind of medicine that actually fixed a fucking problem.
$25 million would not fix anything.
You could try.
I mean, you could try. It could be a part of a amount of money that would fix something.
Yeah, instead of buying a bunch of styrofoam weed suits and giving people hugs on the internet.
Okay, but if that's what they wanted to do, who are you to tell them that they...
Oh, I'm not. I'm just saying that it was a huge failure and they wasted a shitload of money, so congratulations.
Yeah.
Enjoy your not winning.
I mean, Nick Lachey and his $1.3 million part of that, out of his $146 million worth. Sure, he doesn't care.
And everybody jumped on his shit because they said that he was just hopping on a trend to make more money off of it, buying into the proposed monopoly and all this. That's the funny thing. Stoners can't even be happy that they could potentially legally buy weed. They had to be selfish.
I mean, why is that selfishness?
They finally gave you what you want. You think you can be responsible with a controlled narcotic substance.
Not a narcotic. We had this talk last week.
What the fuck ever.
Not a narcotic.
You think you can be trusted, like you can respect a drug, which doing drug is not respecting drugs. That's simple. You think that you're responsible enough, and yet you're mad because you can't grow and sell acres of weed.
That's not what it is. I mean,
but
that's not what
people are mad
against it.
We should just be able to buy and sell whatever we want. Do you really fucking think after like 100 fucking years of it being illegal that they're just gonna like say fuck it, do whatever you want?
Not 100 years. It hasn't even been illegal for 100 years. 1927 was when it was illegalized.
I was being hyperbolic.
Okay. I'm just saying, that's one of the big things that you have to think about too. Think about how long in this nation that weed was completely illegal. Think about how many presidents sat in the Oval Office and smoked a weed pipe.
Also think about this. In 1920, the shit wasn't that strong. It's completely different now. People make weed so strong that you take one hit and you're out for like an hour. They make crazy shit. It costs crazy amounts of money. It's like the strongest and the best, and they've been splicing strands together and all this. Back in the day, it was that's weed and that's weed. It's fucking weed, whatever. It's completely different now. It's essentially it's Four Loko.
Okay.
That's what it is now, and people cannot be responsible. People cannot respect what's going to happen to them when they do this stupid ass thing. You can't expect people to actually do this properly. And Responsible Ohio,
just as properly and just as responsible as people that drink, because some people do it responsibly and a lot of people don't.
Like 1 in 1,000 have a healthy relationship with alcohol.
Way more than that.
I fucking doubt it.
Say 1 in 50.
1 in 50. All right, you find me 50 people who drink on any regular basis, and we're talking about a couple times a week, maybe even once a week on the weekend, but on a continual basis, as if that is a social thing that they do. And you find
because we push it through our fucking system.
1 in 50 people who has a healthy grasp on their alcohol consumption.
Go find 49 people. My mom. Go find 49 other people. My dad. They both drink 1 16-ounce of a beer a night with their dinner. Or maybe my mom will switch it up and have a glass of wine.
Okay, maybe that's 2 out of 2,000.
There's plenty of people, obviously, in our lives that don't know how to take care of their alcohol.
Most young people, first of all.
Okay, that's young people. I mean, half of them will eventually learn, and half of them will be full-fledged alcoholics. So that's why I'm saying 1 in 50.
Yeah, no, those aren't good numbers. The way you just laid it out. I don't have time to do the math. That's not good. But these same people now, all of a sudden think that they can be trusted to...
But that's the thing, those same people already smoke weed, they just don't want to go to jail for smoking weed.
No, I think here's the thing. If you are caught moving ridiculous amounts of it...
You'll still go to jail, even if they passed it. You would still go to jail.
Can I finish? Can I finish? If you get caught moving large quantities, worth large amounts, the sort of thing that people kill each other over, you should absolutely go to jail.
Absolutely.
Responsible Ohio passed or not. That is something, if you're moving like millions of dollars worth of drugs, regardless of what kind of drug, you should probably end up in fucking jail. If you are caught with a baggie, it should be a fine. If you're caught with too many baggies, it should be a fine and court-ordered rehab. Now everybody says, there's no rehab for weed. Either way, you should be forced, against your free will, to be counseled on your substance abuse. Okay. Just like they do with alcohol. Just like they do with anything else.
Yeah.
If you eat too much fucking chocolate and you have a chocolate problem, you have a medical problem where you eat too much chocolate as hazardous to your health, they'll send you to chocolate rehab, which sounds awesome. True. If you have eating problems, you will see a specialist regarding
eating disorders.
Yeah, well, eating too much fucking chocolate would be a disorder, dummy.
I don't think that's real.
I don't think anybody can eat that much chocolate anyway, but I'm, again, being hyperbolic. These people expect to be trusted with something they can't be trusted with now. Like they're all of a sudden going to get their shit together.
Okay, but I mean, again, 1 in 50 people that smoke weed fucking do it responsibly. They do it when they get home, they get off work, they sit on their couch, they fucking...
Are you saying 1 in 50 people...
smoke weed responsible? Yeah, responsibly.
Or 1 in the 50 people that do smoke?
1 in the 50 people that do smoke.
Okay, that's not good odds.
Okay, but it's the same as alcohol, is what I'm saying.
Also not good odds.
Okay, so
both of those are bad.
Okay, but if they are technically equal, because in even the eyes of the federal law, besides one being currently illegal, they're considered the same outcome. Like being drunk and being high on just weed is considered the same outcome.
As far as your debilitated mental state. Yeah. So you see how those odds are bad. The stipulations, the statistics that you have just proposed are not good.
Okay. But I mean, we honestly, unless you're out there driving while you're drunk, nobody on this planet gives two shits if you drink too much. Realistically.
Except for when you go home and beat the shit out of your kids.
Okay.
Or when you lose your job. Or when you're hungover at your job and you end up getting somebody mauled by a piece of machinery because you're hungover at your job. Or when you're sneaking. It's
usually more because you're drunk at your job, not because you're hungover.
Sips of schnapps in between jobs. When you're snorting coke off your desk because you can't drink at work.
How do we just jump from alcohol to coke?
Because this is the shit that people do. I watched it happen at my place of employment. Like,
alcohol is not a. Can't think of the word. Gateway drug. Weed is not a gateway drug.
Really?
Yes, it's not.
Shut up.
It's not.
Substantiate that. I dare you. I fucking dare you to try.
Okay, you want to know what happens? You fucking get caught with too many baggies. You go to rehab. You go into your rehab and you go, doctor, the reason I smoke is because I can't deal with the pain. Well, weed's not legal. Here's some Percocets. You take this from now on.
No good doctor would do that.
Yeah, they would.
No, no. I just said no good doctor. I don't think there are all that many good doctors.
Okay.
So
I agree.
Caught you. Fuck you. I win.
But most of those doctors will hand you a prescription of Percocets to take care of your pain, and that's your gateway drug that leads you into, oh shit, I don't have a job now. My insurance dropped me. I can't get Percocets, but I can pay $5 and get some heroin. And obviously there's steps in between. But more than half of our shitty doctors that work at their shitty jobs that they don't give two shits about just fucking prescribe us things that there could be easier, more costly ways to fix.
And here's something I've been coming around to lately. If there are so many supposed health benefits or side effects that are also relief of symptoms for uncurable physical ailments, I don't give a fuck about your mental ailments. If you are too sad, so you need to smoke all the time, you should either seek some counseling, plant some sunflowers, or throw yourself off a fucking bridge. Shut up.
Say that.
If you are so sad that you can't do anything but smoke weed, either plant a garden or jump in a river. Because you're not meant for this world.
Okay, but if you go to counseling, all they're going to do is put you on other drugs that you don't support.
Can I finish? If you have a physical ailment and they have for some reason decided that the best course of action is medicinal marijuana, fine. If you're dying of fucking cancer and you want to spend the rest of your life, which is like a whole month, stoned off your fucking gourd, fuck it. Whatever. Enjoy being high and wasting what's left of your life because you can't handle what I'm sure is tremendous pain. And yes, the opiate painkillers are worse. You're pretty well fucked. So, fine. Do whatever you got to do. I don't agree with it. I'm sure people in that position would go, I'd rather not be high as fuck for the rest of my life, which is like a month. No thanks, I'll just deal. If that is the case, then fine. Everybody says, well, it restores appetites in cancer patients and whatever. You know what? They can probably breed some shit that doesn't get you as fucked up, but still makes you hungry enough to eat.
THC oils.
See, but that's concentrated. That's a different thing.
It doesn't get you fucked up and high. It just gives you, just dulls your pain.
People use THC oil in their vape pens to get
dabs.
high.
That's what dabs are.
It's the same shit.
It's differently.
It's concentrated THC oil.
It's different. THC oils that are used in medicine cases and THC oils that are used in vape pens are two separate types of genetically enhanced THC.
How?
I don't know. Read a fucking book.
A book written by a stoner. See, that's the trouble. You can't trust those people.
Half the books you read and half the music you listen to are all made by stoners. But you don't have a problem with them.
You know what I love about this argument? You know what I love about this argument?
What?
Is that I win it every fucking time. Every time I say that smoking too much weed will make you fucking stupid, they pull out their one friend who's super fucking smart. And they know that you know is fucking smart.
Coheed is your favorite band. They all smoke the fucking weed every day.
Shut the fuck up.
No,
I'm talking.
You're not winning this argument.
I'm about
There's
to.
There's no winning or losing.
I have an ace in the hole.
Your opinion
I have an ace
is
in the hole.
your opinion.
I'm going to win. You're just delaying the inevitable.
You're just a fucking Jew.
Every single one of these people dig up their one friend or their one example of somebody who is on a shitload of drugs and still gets shit done and still really smart and still really fun to be around. And they go, yeah, well, what about this guy? It's like, you know what? If his cognitive abilities are such that he can do all these drugs and still get that shit done, Imagine what he could do if he wasn't high all the time.
Okay, but what if
we decolonized fucking Mars? If these people,
ace in the hole.
If these people who apparently can do so much while they're stoned didn't smoke, they would get so much done. Electric cars would have been made in the fucking 60s if people weren't so goddamn high.
There's plenty of people who smoke weed who are only functionable on that level when they're smoking weed.
Why?
That's the way their brain is set up.
Because they're too weak-willed to get through the world?
They're too weak-willed to focus on anything. Because I guarantee you, you can say you're against it, that's fine. You're morally against it, that's also fine. Everything that you want to get done right now, if you weren't straight edge and you smoked weed, it would have been done 6 months ago.
I doubt it.
Totally.
No, because I know people in my exact position who smoke a bunch of weed and don't get any fucking thing done.
You know
ever.
one person, and that's Sam.
No, I know like 6 people, and that's two fucking bands, all with the same people in it, that aren't getting shit done. Why? By their own admission, because they smoke too much. So don't fucking tell me that I would get all this work done if I got high first.
You personally would get all this work done.
Me personally, I would hang myself.
I mean, you probably would.
If I needed weed to get through my life, fuck it. Shotgun between the eyes.
So, how do you feel about your favorite band, Coheed and Cambria, smoking weed before they...
They probably wouldn't have written Year of the Black Rainbow if they weren't so fucking stoned. Okay, and disappointed me for 3 years.
They wouldn't have written any of those records if they weren't so fucking
that's
stoned.
Bullshit.
Incubus Morning View is one of my favorite records all time, and that was the record that literally made... Like, I used to be as anti-weed as you are.
Doubt it.
I really was. And Incubus Morning View, I was like, okay, you know what? Listening to this record, clearly, sometimes people that smoke weed can write a record, or maybe a book, or maybe something, even a fucking movie, a plot, a fucking...
See, these are probably people who smoke just a little bit and then do work. This is
okay. That's a responsible not, 1 in 50.
This is not the American average that frightens me.
Okay, but me nor you are the American average.
Well, no, we're
and
both
neither
fucked
of us
in the
fucking
head.
smoke.
But the people who do smoke, the American average, first of all, the average American is borderline alcoholic, absolutely chemical dependent on at least a dozen things. Most people smoke weed all the time. Which is why I'm so fucking angry all the time. Because every dumb motherfucker I have to talk to on a daily basis is stoned on fucking something. If it's not weed, it's motherfucking Zoloft or some other toxic bullshit that they think helps them get through the day. Whereas if they would just man the fuck up,
okay, but
they would be fine.
We don't raise our kids to man the fuck up anymore.
Well, maybe the fuck we should.
Okay, maybe we should. Which leads us out of this topic because I'm sick and tired of arguing with it and into the next one. Man the fuck up. If somebody says something that offends you, shut the fuck up. I'm literally sick and fucking tired of it. I am. Like, I'm sick and tired of, I say one thing, I'm against feminism. I say another thing, I'm fucking against Muslims. I say another thing, like, fuck Jews. Not really. But if I say fuck Jews, who gives a shit?
Don't say fuck Jews.
Fuck Jews.
Jews are great.
Jews are great. Some Jewish people are great.
No, like Jews are pretty great, actually.
Like the stereotype of Jews aren't even Jewish people.
Like most of the great people I know are Jews. They're really good people.
I mean, I don't really mean fuck Jews, just like when you call me a faggot, like...
Yeah, but
any real person,
that's
gay,
colloquial. Jew is the real term for a Jewish person.
Any real gay person, I have never ever seen them get offended because somebody called another person a faggot.
I watched a very, very openly homosexual man drink an entire bottle of wine and call a straight guy a faggot.
I was there. It was
hilarious. Holy shit! He put his face right up the dude's face. Like an inch away from his cheek, it just goes, shut up, faggot. Oh my God. A gay dude just called this really feminine, apparently straight dude a faggot. That is fucking priceless.
I just don't understand why anything it really got to me, I guess, with Halloween this year. Like, if you want to dress up as a Native American, fucking dress up as a Native American. I don't see how that's fucking offensive.
Mostly because the oversimplified, disrespectful caricature that we've created of Native American people is a little too broad and kind of not accurate. I mean, but it's a Halloween costume. It's supposed to be overblown.
I mean, like,
now, if you do something insensitive while doing it, like carrying around a mannequin head and talking about how you murder all the white people, that's really in poor taste.
I would laugh.
I mean, I would laugh, but doesn't make it not in poor taste.
I mean, literally, I feel like at this point, if I walk outside and say, like, maybe I'm just reciting a poem that was written 400 years ago that says, all men live under this blue sky, I would be surrounded by 16 different people that would say, no, this should say all white, black, yellow, red, green, men, women, Muslim, Christian, atheist, Jewish, Hindu, Buddhist.
Everyone has to have a problem with everything.
Yeah. And it's fucking bullshit. Like, grow the like, some things.
Minor hiccup. We lost a couple seconds.
Some things even I take too seriously, but I just think the whole world as a whole right now is being way too PC. And I mean, like, I didn't even know what PC was for a long time. You talk about PC hardcore, like, before me and everything, like, before, like, I was a teenager and into hardcore, like, it was big, but, like, I never really had to deal with that kind of stuff. But the first time I was ever introduced to it was about 10 years ago. I went to a show in Louisville, and I was wearing that Kill Your Local Drug Dealer t-shirt. And I wasn't drinking at the time. Obviously, I smoked cigarettes because I always smoke. And, I mean, like, it's a pretty broad thing. Like, kill your local drug dealer. Like, do I really support killing your local drug dealer now? Probably not. Maybe just snitch on them heroin users, but at that point in time, like, yeah, I felt strongly about it. Like, hey, if you know some dude's doing heroin, like, I don't know. I was
kill is a little too aggressive.
Kill is a little too aggressive, but it was a shirt that sold a lot. Anyways, I was sitting outside of a venue in Louisville smoking a cigarette, and two girls came up to me and they said, "Yo, that's bullshit." I was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "You're wearing that shirt. It's made by a straight edge company. You're smoking a cigarette. You're not being politically correct." I was a little skinnier back then, so I said, "Fuck it," and took the shirt off and walked around the rest of the show without a shirt on. But, I mean, like, from something that small to as big as it gets now, like, it's fucking stupid. I'm just sick and tired of it.
I mean, I've been of the impression for a long time that words only hurt people if you assign them negative meanings. Like, you can get rid of racial slurs in a hurry by just accepting that people are going to say that and then just not getting offended. If you take the power out of words, words become nothing. And everybody gets pissed off about that. Well, how hard is it to stop saying something? It's like, well, just, you know what's easier than stopping people from being shitty? Is ignoring it. And eventually, you breed an entire generation of people who weren't going to put up with that shit, and then it just goes away. Eventually, people want immediate results, which is not going to happen.
Which goes back to our spoiled world generation.
Yeah. People are going, well...
Disclaimer on this segment, I don't hate Jews. I was just using an example. I guess I could have said, fuck white people.
Oh, white people are the worst.
White people are the worst. Especially Jesus white girls.
Christ. Just what?
Actually, I watched like 16 things on feminism today. And if that was the way most feminists acted towards me, then I guess I could agree with feminism. But the fact that most of the feminists that I run into are women that instead of wanting to be equal with men, they want to put themselves above men. And that's what feminism is surrounded by in my eyes.
See, here's the problem. The idea that the textbook definition of feminism, which is misleading by title, is the idea that men and women are equal. different but equal. Now, the trouble is that it won't ever be completely equal. It's a yin and yang sort of thing, because men, by the grand majority, have a different body type. We are built with a different skeletal build. We're generally bigger, oftentimes stronger. Obviously, very, very, large exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, that's the way we're built. That's thousands, millions of years of evolution at work. That's just how the shit shakes out. You know what women are? First of all, responsible for childbirth. So obviously we can't be equal.
Periods.
We have different shit. But for the most part, they're smarter than we are. So, they win something.
They're also more emotional than we are.
Which, but we have worse tempers. So, you can't be equal. You're too different to be equal. But you can make things as equal.
Should be equal.
You can make things as equal as possible, given circumstances. Now, the trouble is that the first feminist movement was a very positive and important thing. The second feminist movement, I don't know why it even happened, because shit really isn't that bad for you all. You can vote and drive cars and own businesses, and there's still wage discrepancies. And I mean, maybe that's because the people in charge of these companies were in charge of the fucking companies before equal rights were established. Who the hell knows? It'll get worked out. Just be patient. The trouble is, then people started taking it way too far, and there's a different term for that. That's misandrist. I don't know what that means. I'm pretty sure it was made the fuck up by the internet. But misandry is that whole women are superior bullshit. And the funny thing is, the internet makes it so much worse. Like
they always,
because the one person
go the negative side of everything.
Right. The one person who posts the ridiculously over the top, crazy asshole feminist joke, another person sees it, agrees with it, and shares it. And you can never tell who's joking and who's serious. Yeah. Misandry literally is Greek for hatred and man.
Okay. Well, at least the internet didn't make it up. It's Greek.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they started using. No, I guess. No, it's been around. It became important again due to this. There was this thing because people now are don't label me with a gender. We should have nondescript gender titles because he and she are too. I
don't get it.
They're too locked in. Like, why should somebody need to identify as a gender? And there's this like really.
I'm not going to get into it on this podcast, but I don't get that whatsoever.
No, me either. And this lady, I don't know, she's got like armpit hair and her husband on a leash, and he's wearing a Neutral Milk Hotel t-shirt, and she's like, our baby's going to speak its first words. And
oh, I remember this. It's a cartoon, right? It's not real life. Yeah.
And it says, Mama, and she goes, get me a new one. Like, that's ridiculous. It's meant to be ridiculous. And nobody's going to repost that serious. But this whole idea that, like, there's that one that keeps going around where this dude sends this chick a Facebook message, and it opens with, hey, or can I get your phone number or something, or call me. And she's like, I have a boyfriend. I can't believe you won't respect my relationship. And he's like, cool. I just needed to know what part of our group project that I needed to do, but fuck you. Like, I can't really, for the life of me, figure out all the reasons that we've come to this, but most people agree that it's ridiculous. It's just the short bangs, septum ring, black lipstick wearing weirdos of the Tumblr world who make all the women of the world look bad. Because they have it
just falls into the same PC nonsense. And
they have this narrow-minded idea that they've got it so bad And sure, we are just now getting to a place where gay people are treated as equals to everybody else.
And see, that's the thing. Like, I without offending our listeners, like this is the easiest way for me to describe it.
Real quick.
Okay, go.
Gay people can now get married. They're going to get shit on for a little while longer. That's just going to happen. In India, they kill you in the street.
Same in Amsterdam at night.
They will fucking kill you. Like, really? Do you really think that the women of the United States of America have it so goddamn bad that they have to come up with all this ridiculous shit to say? People have it worse. Get some fucking perspective. You have struggles. We all have struggles. You just seem to be the loudest about it. And you make the dumbest fucking claims. I've lost friends over the neo-feminism movement. One of my closest friends started growing out her armpit hair and decided that because I was a man, I was evil.
It's not because you're a man, it's because you're a dick.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, you were saying.
Anyways, me as a whole, I can understand.
A-hole.
I can understand a man and a man wanting to be in a relationship and getting married. And I can understand a woman and a woman. Just like I can clearly understand a man and a woman. What I don't understand is a man who thinks he's been a woman his whole life, so wants to become a woman, but still wants to date women. Why can't you just be a feminine man dating a woman? Same with a
That's
woman.
Complicated. I don't know.
A woman who wants to be a man and date men.
A woman wants to be a gay man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's too complicated for me to fit in my head. But really, my issue is that people are making big deals out of things that are not huge deals, and there's still inequalities in the world. And here's the problem. All of a sudden, we're in the golden age of information, and everything that happens can be public record. If you want to know how many times this thing that you don't agree with happened, you can get a pretty accurate number. Every case where justice is not appropriately served due to whatever circumstances becomes evidence. It becomes fuel for this cause. And, chances are it's a good cause. But because the information is so readily available, all of a sudden it seems like a bigger problem. It's not a bigger problem. It's the same problem. People want to act like date rape and date rape drugs are just now getting to be a problem. No, that's a really narrow-minded viewpoint. It's been a problem. You're just now able to hear about every single time it happens. That doesn't make it better or worse. It's still shitty. The grand majority of people are still of the opinion that that is shitty. The trouble is, now the people who don't think it's shitty have a platform to be open about it and say something stupid on the internet and then just get fucking attacked for it, as in this case they fucking should. The trouble is, people are attacking people with half-assed claims and for just things they don't agree with. So the same thing that makes information that could change the way we behave for the better is readily available. It also makes all the negative information readily available, and everyone wants to act like these things are new. It's not fucking new.
This is the argument that I had with my parents about allowing gay marriage. Is like, they all act like gay people weren't around until 1964.
No, they've definitely
been around since the beginning of time.
Yeah. Some creatures are just wired that way. It's not a huge fucking deal.
I don't know. I just don't understand. Like, sometimes you can take a joke out of context and hear it wrong or see it wrong. But at the end of the day, like, as a whole, we're just way too PC.
Sensitive. And at the same time, entitled.
Spoiled.
God, it's such an amazing time to be alive and such a frustrating time to be alive. Like, Elon Musk is going to make electric cars that only cost $30,000. He's currently producing a battery, rechargeable battery that can power an entire home that would change the way we depend on other energy sources. We have all of these amazing things that they're working on. And no one's happy. This is a Louis C.K. bit. He's like, phones are incredible and people hate them. Like, fucking chill out. Like, how do you get mad because your Wi-Fi network doesn't extend across the street on your cell phone, and you really, really wanted to check the weather, even though you're outside, so you kind of know the weather? Just walk across the street.
You don't want it to fucking rain by the time you walk across the street.
Like, it just, people have like critical thinking and problem solving problems. Just like simple. Like, don't expect amazing things to work always. I worked with a guy who, if things were not wireless, if things were not working on the newest technology possible, he was furious. It's as if, like, if he was to pick up a screwdriver and he's like, this screwdriver should be turning itself. It's 2015. Yeah, no.
I agree.
Don't get mad about things that just completely unnecessary. Like, oh, you're like.
Was there another topic besides this one?
Yeah.
There is.
I mean, well, the Disney thing.
Oh, that was part of this PC topic.
Right.
Can we take a break?
The Louis C.K. bit where somebody gets mad because the Wi-Fi on the airplane, they're testing it for the first time, goes down, and they get mad. Really? Are you gonna piss your pants?
Yeah, I'm about to.
Okay, fine. We'll take a break. Now that Q has emptied his girlish bladder, we can get back to what we were doing.
Dude, if I smoked weed, I'd be able to hold my pee longer.
That's not a thing. That's not like a thing
just
that
as
happens.
real as curing cancer, man.
Okay, fine. You got me there. Anyway,
come on, dude. Get back on point, dude. Come on, dude.
It was your point.
Okay, but I mean, you were finishing up your side of the point.
Anyway, self-entitled, oversensitive, spoiled, and it's the internet's fault. And there's no hope to change it in sight. Like, and that's really frustrating. Like, it happens on a regular basis. Like, I hear people complaining that this thing doesn't work or this occurred because of this. And I'm like, well, I mean, you know that happens, right? Like that's a possibility. They're like, yeah, but it shouldn't happen. Yeah, but you know that can happen, right? Well, yeah. It's like, and I'm not saying it should, but it can, and it did. So one, accept it and do something about it. And two, just be aware that that'll happen and avoid it. But you shouldn't have to. It's like, that's a stupid argument.
I mean, you shouldn't have to.
Like,
I mean, I see your point as being spoiled and everything like that, but at the same time, like, there are certain aspects of your point that I disagree with. And that is certain technological things that we create and sell at such a high price.
Oh, God, you're going to bitch about how you don't like your phone?
No. I'm just saying, like, the reason that we're all spoiled and we're all sensitive and we're all that is because we're raised on a society where businesses are basically saying, hey, it takes me $2.50 to build your phone. That'll last you a year. Or we could spend $4 and build you a phone that'll last 10 years and not even have a chance of breaking. Here's your $2.50 phone. $2.50 phone. It gave us $300 for it or more.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that this costs at least $50 to $100 to make. But
we talked about it that one day and you said 50 tops.
Yeah, fine. You're just talking about technology being fragile. I'm talking about the process. Like it's like God. It's like
I'm saying like a 1975 car is going to last longer than a 2015 car.
For one,
But it is if you take care of it. Cars in the 1970s were built to last.
Yeah, but they were also built to be slow and inefficient. That we talked about this.
Yeah,
it's a give and take. You have to give and take. Like that's it. But I'm talking about a process. Let's just say you rely on public transportation. And you live in a city where public transportation is reliable and very beneficial to you. Let's say Chicago. Chicago's big on public transportation. Various methods of public transportation. I happen to know that on many bus stops, there's a number you can text, and it'll ping a GPS thing on the bus and tell you how far away it is. Let's just say that doesn't work one day. And somebody's sitting at the bus stop, and the bus is 3 minutes late, and they are furious because they are in a hurry to get to whatever the fuck people in Chicago are in such a hurry to get to.
Pizza.
And they're so angry because something that is a fragile piece of technology that's relatively new is not working optimally, and they're just losing their mind. That is a great example of a just pointlessly, just without a doubt, spoiled, entitled, just jackass. You're just being a jackass. Like,
okay, but I mean, like, if you're in a hurry,
it's one thing to go
new or old, you're still going to be pissed off.
No, but there's a difference between, man, it's a real bummer that this isn't working. I suppose I'll just wait, ask people around me if the bus has come. Oh, yours isn't working either? I guess we'll just go back to the old days. Like how we fucking used to do this for a really long time.
Okay, but at the same...
if the solution to the problem is free and readily available, it's like this. If all of a sudden they figured out a way, there was a free government program to install this piece in your car that read your mind. You're laughing. Hang on. That read your mind and automatically activated your turn signal. Well, then everybody's turn signals would work all the time. Everyone would use turn signals. It'd be safer. The whole world would be better. Everyone unanimously agrees that the brain turn signal is absolutely the way to go. And the government gives these out to anybody who's ever owned a car. They're free. You can go to any store and they will have them. They're everywhere. You can get the brain turn signal anywhere. And it's free. And you put the brain turn signal in your car and you love the brain turn signal. Holy shit. No modification necessary to your car. It works through some kind of magic. And you just put that fucker on your dash. And your brain turn signal works. And one day, your brain turn signal gives you a little flashing light and says, I don't work. Go get another free one. And you go, how am I supposed to use my turn signal? Motherfucker, it's a lever. It's been a lever your whole fucking life. Just use the lever. I shouldn't have to use the lever. It's really not that fucking critical. All of a sudden you forgot what doing things the normal way is. That's how people act now.
Okay, the off point that I was trying to say about it was going along with your storyline is, let's say,
proposed brain turn
proposed.
Are you going to fuck that up 3 more times?
Proposed.
There you go.
Brain turn signal.
Which would be dope.
But say it doesn't tell you that it's not working. It just stops working. And then you change lanes and your turn signal doesn't pop. and a cop pulls you over for lack of using a turn signal when you're already late to something. I was saying no matter what, if you're already late to something and you're already behind, technology or not, you're going to be pissed off.
Yeah.
That was the side of it that I was trying to say.
Well, don't be late. If you're on time, you're late.
Yeah.
People believe that.
Always be 15 minutes earlier.
I'm
late.
15 minutes late to everything.
Yes, you are.
I am.
You'll be 15 minutes late to your funeral.
Yep. I got shit to do. I lose track of time. I know this. I preemptively apologize often. But let's say you get pulled over and you're like, I got the brain turn signal. And they're like, yeah, we know all about the brain turn signal. We love the brain turn signal. You know what? If everybody has the brain turn signal and you didn't signal, chances are yours is broken. So you know what? Here's a reminder to you. You can go to that store right over there and get a new one. Enjoy. Go get a new fucking brain turn signal. It's as if your idea insists that the police would not know about the brain turn signal, wouldn't be sympathetic to it not working. They would love for the brain turn signal to work. It would reduce accidents.
They not to work because it would tear into their tickets.
Right? Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
Anyways, let's get to...
This is the sort of shit that people complain about.
Okay.
They're given a free thing, and it's amazing.
But when it doesn't work, why the fuck is it not working?
Oh my god, it's the end of the fucking world.
It is.
God. It's like you buy... Somebody gives you a giant standing mixer, and you love to bake, and you're like, oh, I fucking love this standing mixer. I'm gonna make like 1 million cakes. And then your standing mixer dies
on your 147,000th cake.
And you're like, I have to mix this. Well, I have a spoon, but instead of just mixing it by hand, I'm going to complain.
Why would I have to use all the effort of my wrist and elbow in a spoon? Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
This is 2015.
Cake should mix itself.
I should be able to leave the room and the cake will make itself.
Exactly. That's how people walk around now. Obviously, that's an exaggeration, but only a slight one. Like, yeah, I get mad when, like, I'm using Google Chrome on my phone and I get a fucking pop-up and it won't go away or whatever. Fine. But, like, that's the internet. Like, it's not perfect yet. I'm like, oh, goddamn pop-up. I don't, like...
I get mad at stuff because I don't understand. Then I come over here and you go, no, that's just the way this works.
Like, I don't call Verizon and go, the pop-ups on Chrome on my phone. You assholes. Take money off my bill. Like, that's not how the world works. People suck.
Let's get into the final topic of this.
Fine. Disney wants to erase Slave Leia.
While I was peeing, I looked up 2 stories of this real quick. So, report your initial story on it.
They think it's inappropriate and antiquated, and it doesn't meet the standards that Disney would like to keep. And people creepos on the internet love Slave Leia.
Of course.
And they kind of just wanted to be like, hey, we're not going to cut out of the movie or anything, but like, let's stop making that a huge point of interest.
The closest thing to fanfare in the entire Star Wars. Well, if you're going to take out Slave Leia, is it because she's a slave?
Yeah, it's to imply that she's the sex slave to a slug monster.
Okay. Because, Natalie Portman looks pretty hot in Attack of the Clones when she's wearing almost nothing.
Tied up left into the giant ring of monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's had her hands bound. It's not like she's on a chain in a metal bikini. I get that it's provocative, and Disney's not about provocative.
It sounds like they're not saying that it's not because it's provocative. It's because of sex slavery and how big, even though we don't ever talk about it, how big sex slavery still is.
Oh, it's huge
in this world
and horrible.
Yeah,
and so much more present than we'd like to believe.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're getting mad at the pop-ups on our phone.
Yeah, and some girls probably within 500 yards of us literally getting banged out for money right now while she's high on heroin.
500 yards is probably a little too close.
No, I don't think so.
You mean on this block or like 500 yards of anywhere? 500
yards from your house.
In this neighborhood, maybe.
Like maybe like one of these houses over here on Jefferson that are really nice and look like they have sex slave parties sometimes when you walk by. Maybe.
That's terrible that you're laughing.
I'm not trying to laugh, but I mean, I'm serious. Like, if you see some of the people that go in and out of there, like, there has to be sex trade or drug trade going through that house.
Yeah, I feel that.
But one of the stories that I read while I was in there was written by an African-American woman that said, if Leia would not have been a white character, then it would make more sense. Why? And then she goes on in her uneducated forum blog to say that the only type of people that were ever enslaved were African Americans.
That is the most short-sighted, unresearched bullshit. I could spend 2 hours just yelling about how inaccurate that is.
Every group of person in this world has been.
You know who's had it way, way worse than black people? The Jews.
Everybody's had. Okay, but not as far as slavery.
Yeah. Slavery. The Jews had it worse. I'm not talking about the Holocaust.
Technically,
I'm talking about Egypt, motherfucker.
Israelites.
The Jews.
Who weren't all Jewish people. They were just a group of people taken from the Israel.
Okay, I'm just saying, historically, statistically, easy to prove, worse than the African slave trade was the, like, fucking centuries of enslaved Jewish people. So, I mean, and it's not about which one's worse.
Yeah, they're all equally bad.
Yeah, but statistically, as far as like length of time and how bad they got it, that argument is easy to prove untrue. And who's whiter than Jewish people? That's a joke, obviously, because Jewish people
a lot of Jewish people are not
olivey and whatnot. Yeah. But I just mean, like, you know.
So, anyways, I just wanted to throw
people.
that little side note into
that is dumb.
But so what do you think about it?
I'm a firm believer in if something is written, if something is published, if it's in a media work, don't try to edit it later. And I don't think they're trying to edit it later. I don't think they're trying to cut it out.
What it seemed like they were trying to do is they're just trying to take away I can't think of the word. The high regard.
Yeah.
I mean, like, think about, I didn't see any this year, but I mean, think about Halloween parties in the past, how many girls dress up as that and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's the thing too, like,
I know somebody who professionally cosplays as Slave Leia.
And like, I mean, like, but that's
not
the
that
thing,
it's fucking hard.
That's the thing too, is like, these people are looking at, like, Disney's looking at it and being like, oh, like, sex, slavery, blah, 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 blah. And I get it, but at the same time, Leia in that slave role plays a very strong feministic role. I mean, she does kill Jabba.
And she's part of a plot to escape and all that. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's not like that's the end of her story.
The only character that's worthless in that entire scene is C-3PO. Who's worthless in the entire trilogies.
Yeah. Anyway, I get that it's in poor taste. And people that, like, I think they want to, like, not have Slave Leia toys and not print that on stuff.
That would be ridiculous, I think.
Taking it out of the public eye, I mean, is their business. They don't make a Darth Maul action figure that's sliced in half that you can, like, that you can pop his fucking torso and arm off.
That would be so tight.
But, you know, so it's their business whether they want to take the attention away from a character or take attention away from something a character does. I don't think there's an Anakin action figure with him on fire.
Yes, there is.
There is?
Yeah.
All right.
Like his leg burned off and one of his arms cut off.
That's fucked up. But, you know, they can pick and choose what they want to make important. And I think their plan is to just make this less important. And it is kind of like what the fuck is the word? Glamorized this scene and this part of the character, which is a little silly. I
mean, what's really funny to me is like I remember when Return of the Jedi Special Edition came out in the movies, and like back in the theaters, like in 99 or 2000, or like maybe it was 98, right before Phantom Menace. But I remember like there being an interview and like people like saying like, don't you wish like everybody as a kid like that was older than me would be like, yeah, like the first like closest thing to a hot girl in a movie you saw was like Carrie Fisher and Princess Leia's like slave Leia outfit. But at the same time, once you've seen that movie once or twice, as a kid, the only thing you can think of is, damn, I wish Carrie Fisher was hotter.
Yeah, I think all of Leia's outfits become glamorized. Really, I mean, how many people try to do the like white robe and hair bun thing? Yeah. Like,
it's just too much clothes for Halloween.
Right. So I think that's what they're after. Hopefully they don't try to like cut it out of the movie or digitally censor it or some stupid shit like that.
I mean, I don't care. I have every type copy of that movie anyways.
But I think they're just trying to take attention away from it because people love to give it attention.
Although, you know what? I do kind of want the Blu-ray copies of those movies because there's like 16 deleted scenes from A New Hope that's never been out there before. That's in the Blu-ray.
You have a Blu-ray player?
No.
That's a problem.
I mean, I'm sure by the time I actually found enough money for that Blu-ray collection, I'm sure Blu-ray players will be like $12.
Same way at some point they started making TVs with VCRs built in.
Yeah.
And VCRs weren't expensive anymore.
Yeah. Anyways, anything else to say?
No, not really. I'm worn out.
Yeah, me too. You're going to go run a train on somebody?
No, there will be no running of train.
Maybe you'll go ride a train and ride it. Ooh, come on, ride the train and ride it. Come on, man, it's the 90s all over again.
I just realized what you were doing, and I'm so upset about it.
Anyways, Sundays cross me, and I'm going to go read up on He Who Shall Not Be Named.
Because the memes are out of control.
Out of control.
Especially the Magic the Gathering card.
If you want to ask us about He Who Shall Not Be Named, you can Facebook message Hubert R. Sider or Brandon Mertz or just on the Angry Old Dudes page, and we
talk to us about anything. Really, it's fun.
Yeah, just hit us up. Maybe you want to come on and talk to us about random shit or not random shit. Hit us up, and we'll see you next time. Episode 16, Angry Old Dudes.
Nobody can see your gesture of goodbye.
I'm not even gesturing. I was trying to like pause to like think of something like Slave Leia forever. Brandon running trains never.
Yeah, no, that was awful. Anyway, yeah, that's the end of our show. Go to a show. Don't be a dick.
Music, 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 music.
I'm just going to cut it right there. All right.